Welcome everyone to another stream coming to you by the power of KritzKast. Tonight is the HLMixes Showdown match sponsored by Manco Store. Right now it's going to be the grand finals of Gimme opponent versus Phoenix Sun. My name is Buck. On production today we have Foppish, and joining me here is Domaytoe. How you doing, Domaytoe? Ready for some more Highlander action?
Good evening. I'm doing quite fine. It was a very interesting Saturday evening, and I can finally settle down to watch, as you said, some Highlander action here tonight. A bit of a more, unconventional tournament, as we only have covered UGC and ETFL in the past, but now we apparently have a kind of tournament on our hands where this is the grand final of. So we'll see how these two teams fare up. And if I'm not completely mistaken, it is a league to get newer players into this scene under the leadership of a very experienced player.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, I mean, HLMixes I'm personally not seen much of it, but yeah, I mean, anything to sort of expand the Highlander community, see the support grow even further. I mean, I think we've covered like some RGL stuff as well, but that's Proland. It's a bit of a different piece of cake. But going to be looking at some HLMixes match right here, right now. Got Upward first, and then I think Gullywash as well afterwards. So going to be some different variants of maps, really. I mean, looking to see how these teams do here tonight. I mean, Upwards, as I've said before in previous casts, a bit of a staple Highlander map. People are usually quite experienced of it. Gets played quite a lot in scrims and in pugs and that sort of thing. So, I mean,
it's a nice euphemism of saying there has literally been nothing else played in the last 2 or 3 years except Upward.
You know what I mean. But, I mean, it gets played a lot, so...
Yeah, they could switch it up, honestly, back in the day it was literally, from season, 5 to 9 or something, it was only, Badwater, and then after that it was literally only Upward ever since. It's quite ridiculous, and as you said, it is literally the Highlander map,
it's just I would
say. Yeah, it just got played a lot, let's just agree on that one. After that we have Gullywash. It's been some time since I've seen Highlander game on Gullywash. I always like seeing Gullywash, and as a third map, if it goes to that as the decider, that would be Asheville, which I'm pretty happy about, because honestly, this tournament is already better than most of the other leagues then, because they play Asheville, which is the superior map to Coalplant.
Yeah, I think Asheville I kind of prefer as well over Coalplant. It just feels like slightly different, like sort of the heights of some of the buildings, like the sheds and like the backline as well, is a bit different. So kind of changed it up a bit. But yeah, right now it's gonna be some payload to start off with. Best of 3 actually as well. So payload, as far as I know, unless I'm hearing anything else. But so it might be in for a long while if it goes to a 1-1 and then goes to a golden cap, so to speak. But
who's your prediction? We have 18 players on the server, and if I done my calculation correct, that is 9 players on each team. So who's your obvious prediction? Because we've been following these teams for seasons, and we definitely know who will reign superior in this scenario.
Ah, yes, very true. Yeah, definitely not a complete bait question. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, I know. To be fair, look at these teams. Like, I've seen a few of the players. Like, I recognize like Cohen and CK and Magister, and then on the other side we've got like Haku and Zodiac, who I've seen a few times. So it's gonna be kind of hard to make a bit of a prediction here. I reckon these are probably like quite even just looking at them. Obviously, as the game unfolds, probably time will tell. But I mean, just on a limb, I'm just going to go out and say that the team with Zodiac on it is going to win, because I know he can sometimes be alright, to be fair, like with some of his plays that I've seen from him.
He is okay. He's on the blue team. That completely works for me, because I would go for the red team anyway, because I just go from what people I have added on Snapchat, because sometimes you get these random recommendations, and I just add everyone there, because when it's at 4 AM or something, you just can't resist just pressing those buttons at these people, and I definitely recognize some people from there. So I go with the red team, which is probably the Phoenix Sun team then, and you go with the amazing kind of Gimme opponent team under the leadership of Slingan, who is not playing tonight.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually seen him at the moment, so I don't think he'll be playing. I mean, I don't know whether he's actually playing or like coaching on that sort of thing. So I think he is coaching some sort of like other Sixers team, but yeah, he's doing better on his the Wiethoofd team right now.
I mean, Buck, he's pretty good at managing. I mean, we have to get this meme off the charts anyway,
They beat STCK as well, didn't they, I think, in the Steel game.
He's really good at managing A, his shots, or B, his players. I'll leave that open to debate. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if he actually sorted the roster, what these players can do tonight here. As let's see, so I can actually already run down my roster that I have picked on the red side, as they baited me with a kind of just readying up this. Yeah, amazing. They're just. Oh, see, this is how professional players do these days. I'm already liking this tournament, honestly, and no irony involved. We have, honestly, we have Broken on the Scout class, which is a real fun name for a Scout, honestly. I already like this guy. Then we have Blank on the Soldier class, CK on Pyro, Tiki looking for team 6s, so you know what's up. If he's going to pound, he's going to join the inferior game mode, which is 6s. We have Magister on the heavy class, Skyfox 85. I hope it's his birthday, so it would definitely come in with engineer mains are always old as hell. Cohen on the medic class, that is, who is using Uber in pregame to farm his stats. I not 100% sure about that one. Lucian on the sniper class and Fluff on the spy class, as this is the winning squad that is comprised for tonight.
Fair enough, definitely no bias. Gonna be going into looking at the other side. Got Zodiac on the scout. On offense, probably looking to push the payload a lot, so won't be doing as much, probably. Soldier will be Droy. We've got Pyro will be Val. Demo will be KCR, probably gonna call him KC. Heavy will be Viking. Engie will be Gunslinger. Spy will be Badger, Sniper, and Haku on Medic. But looking at this first suicide coming in, very quickly dissipated, so that was very interesting.
But to be fair, the Demo and the Soldier jumped in at the same time, so this is basically a very good standard to already uphold, honestly. Like, I've never seen this in Prem since the fast kind of seasons the Zodiac goes down, so there is no card pushing time, and there's right now a Broken guy engineering the engineer's sentry gun down basically on the left side, so we are still waiting for anything. There's a Demo on the high ground as he gets killed, and there was a second suicide wave, and the card is still a bit far back.
Yeah, Lucian's trying to get as much damage out as he possibly can sort of on this playground. Magister doing a good job of denying all the soldiers and the Demos. Going to be trying to look to go into that area. Can't again, yeah, still not getting pushed. I mean, Badger's sort of out here quite forwards on Sniper, coming up onto these tracks. Lucian finding the head of Droy as his team's heavy's going to be trying to push the cart with the help of the engineer. Both teams still on 100%. Haku not managing to walk out just yet. Going to try and see what else they can get going at the moment.
I like that this engineer is named Gunslinger. See, the Pyro jumps on the balcony and blasts the heavy off, amazing. And now he's calling for an arrow, and he's still pressuring the Soldier on the top left. He goes down. Blank is going down, getting gunned down by the heavy. There comes the push. Never mind. Lucian went down, and there comes no push. But it looked like it. A lot of people went down. The Spy goes in a bit alone there. I'm questioning no synced Spy plays. Anyway, Viking is in on top right now. They're trying to push here. The Pyro, the Demo is bleeding, and there comes the push, but should be better for the red side, as they separate the blue team and the Demo dies.
Yeah, a bit of a back and forth exchange there. I mean, I'm surprised the speed which Gimme opponent couldn't have actually pushed in there. I feel like they could have done that slightly faster. But yeah, both Meds using Uber there, so possibly looking for a bit of a dry push in right now. Sentry level 3 is still alive in this back area. Bird has managed to get... Actually, no, that's... Oh, no, yeah, Bird managed to get Lucian there. So no sniper for the defense, which could be quite big for them to try and make some space for their own sniper.
They still have these blue stickies. There we go, finally detonated. I really like this kind of game already because I can use that to catch my breath and to catch my vocabulary because the action is going a bit slower here. The red Demo, though, is on the defense. He's on a 7k. There come the picks, though, as I say that, Casus, because as he gets picked by a pick class, which is Bajer or something, probably something Polish, as it seems. He goes down, though, to the black box. And they're just getting spammed. They're literally getting solo denied by this red Solly on top right as he's jumping out and he's still surviving. He's waiting for these arrows. All these people are so weak and they're still not decisively pushing.
Yeah, I mean, props to them for actually staying in here. I mean, they have Uber, they have the level 3, so they're, they're confident staying here. Magister gets pushed off the playground area, and Lucian's still alive. Burr gets blank in the back line, so no soldier to spam them out. Zodiac bravely trying to get on the cart, almost caps it, but he forces the Uber to come out onto the side of red as Magister and CK are going to be receiving the brunt of that. In the meantime, TK could be trying to spam them out as well from the side area, but 100% on Hawk is going to be trying to walk in, kind of odd initial Uber onto his demo there. Is KC gonna be trying to jump in? Jumps in really far. Will he get the NG? He does get the NG. Oh my god, so much damage coming out from the demo there. 4 down right now with some huge sticks. So absolutely massive play from KC as the Soldier Bomb comes in.
That was a 4K or something incredible, just completely annihilated. And now the Soldier's going behind as well. Droid's jumping behind the red team. He's getting chased by Broken though. Let's see the amazing MG in the backlines as I'm probably getting my view disoriented to this. Broken dies. Goodbye. It kind of detracted, as I was saying, from the front as Casey is just completely sticking this heavy out, and that's just easy second point for them. So even though they lost kind of a lot of time on the first point on upward, sometimes it doesn't matter if you just consistently keep rolling from this point on.
Yeah, they have a lot of momentum. Viking and Magister are going to be trying to heavy MG right now, but Magister actually getting the Uber used onto him. But kind of not really finding as much as they probably want. I mean, the car gets capped. You have to be careful they don't get, like, sort of, like, caught out in this back area as well. Lucian going down, Blank going down as well on the defense. But Harky 100%. Possibly just going to be walking in with KC. He's been doing so much for his team at the moment. And, yeah, the med needs to be very careful here. Magister we're trying to reposition himself and, as well as TK. But I'm not seeing a Sentry right now. It's only just being built by Skyfox.
Yeah, it's just level 1 right now. They need to pressure this a bit more. Zodiac goes down, so that's already -2 on the card, and the card's still very far back, so that Uber advantage might actually not matter if they're not brave here. Lucian goes down once again, though. The Spy essentially spawn camping here. Here comes the initiating on an Uber combo. Okay, I mean, they got the force, you know, you can just have it edited right away in the frag clip after that, and now they're just pressuring this. They got all the space, so that's fine. They just need to watch out that they don't get repushed, but they're 4 down on the defense, so they probably won't push into this.
No, I mean, I doubt it. There's really still, yeah, as you said, a lot of people down right now. So I was going to be trying to look forward to going in here. Troy trying to make some space. As the rest of the combo kind of follows him behind him. Broken goes down as well. So still 3 down. Like, they're just not really managing to get as many players up as they'd want. Cohen is stuck up here, but he does manage to Uber onto CK. Will CK find much here? He's going to get air blasted and denied by Viking and his Pyro, Val. So not really finding him as much there. So going to be retreating out as well. Cohen, you're sitting in this area, facing possibly an Uber coming in from Haku very soon onto the side of KC from this under area. So he needs to be very careful he doesn't get caught out here.
They were all mega weak on the blue side there. If the flank would have come in from lower, they could have just crushed them. Now comes the Uber onto a Pyro and onto a Demo. Kind of flash. They're getting denied a lot here though. They don't get any frags. They do get CK down. They need to watch out that they... Oh, that's really nice. Wow, amazing power jack play right there. I mean, they really did well with the red combo, just exchanging their health out, and Magister just gunned down the Pyro close range. Viking is still on top though. Yeah, but Sniper exists.
Yeah, Magister in the head of the mid there. Magister going to be trying to take on Zodiac, but Zodiac with his Scattergun will take him down. There's only 4 up on this defense right now. CK trying to reflect some damage back onto the car as he receives the rockets. As Spy go for a bit of a play, manages to find the heavy there, but oh, and Lucian gets the medic as well. Batcher is going to get the NG though in return, and KCO with a nice pipe does take out Fluff the Spy, who's trying to defend the car. CK dying to the level 1 sentry gun, and yeah, that's going to be a 6.5 minute time for Gimme opponent.
That NG though, that was 10 HP, that guy, Gunslinger on the card, and he was literally the only one forward, so if they would have killed him in that split second, they could have actually stabilized on that last, but just managed to eke it out. Also interesting spy play from Fluff. I can relate to that. He dodged around and then he missed a step on the scout and then died to a roller. I always love these kind of plays, just watching them turn out. But yeah, I mean, it's 6.5 minutes. I would say that's an above average time, but these days we know how it is. They just push super fast. These kids don't have respect for any hold and just go forward. And considering the first kind of slip up there on the first point, which definitely did take them a lot of time, it's quite a decent time, but you know, that's what we've been saying. It's like normal on upward. It usually is that you just get this first broken, and if you don't get into this complete crutch and clutch hold on the second point in this forward hold, then you just roll that one. And they kind of did well there on the third, I would say, so that was a pretty convincing cap time.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really have much of a second hold, because I mean, KC pretty much single-handedly coming in and making sure that didn't happen. So they didn't manage to set up a sentry or anything, getting pushed back to third, and even then they didn't really have much of a defense. But we're looking to see what they can do now on this offense side rather than the defense. But an interesting spot here, actually, being close on top of this rock, very high up, so they won't actually be able to catch him, which is interesting. Soldier and Demo going for a bit of a bomb. Not going to find that much. Viking going down the heavy, but 3 going down in return as they're trying to slowly push on this car.
that soldier got mega denied by the scout before he jumped in with like 20 HP because he just got pinned down by Zodiac with the shots all the time. Now he's fighting a mini sentry, amazing play. Broken is on the scout and trying to pressure it. They are getting the cap time way faster than the other team the round before, as there comes a soldier jump onto the top. Blank is not getting anything, he's finally going down. They tried to sync this up with a spy play, it didn't quite work out on the sentry gun. They're still trying to pressure this from top right. They get their sniper into position top right, and he gets piped, amazing. But maybe they can do something here. It was a bit off. The sniper of the defensive team is still lit, but they are kind of getting a lot of space here.
Oh, I'm still looking at Bird trying to get Cohen as he comes out of the spawn. He's still in the spawn, actually. Like, they're still looking for something here. Maybe for a force, maybe to kill the sentry. They're playing really far back, though, right now. Gimme opponent as the, like, sort of giving him a lot of space. Kart's moved up quite far. Cohen does come out. Cohen with the massive stab! Well, Burr with the massive stab, I should say, onto Cohen, as he gets Lucian as well. So, med down, that's going to be a drop for them. So, going to be 100% still in the bank for Haku as he sits there on this defense. So, massive play coming out for Burr as well.
I haven't seen that play, but in Prem that basically translates to your medic screaming for the next 10 minutes, so that's basically default win for this kind of, in this scenario. And then after that he gets a sniper with a trickster probably as well, something, you know, like, there is not so much more you can psychological win, but there's a heavy on top, he's forcing, Magister is killing Viking and forcing everything from the kind of defenses. They still oblivious to this heavy play, he's still on top, kill this guy, fine, no!
Oh, there we go. He takes the direct. He goes down eventually, but yeah, massive play coming out of Magister. Kind of a redeeming factor, I suppose, in that.
I mean, they get forced by heavy, and then they walk past, flashing 4 players past the same heavy, without shooting them. It was a superior positioning, obviously.
Very true. They're going to be on this hill now. Speaking of superior positioning, going to be trying to go up against this level 1 sentry, but Red deciding to go back. Your opponent going to be retreating into their own spawn, as Cohen does have 80% now. It's going to be a very small ad for him, probably not enough to play off, but Zodiac running in, going for the med, does get him with the help of the soldier spam. So med down for Phoenix Sun right now. I'm actually going to be trying to look into this window area, going to be trying to fight the soldier. Takes a lot of damage in return, but Kart is going to be slowly moved up. Scout, Zodiac going to be getting some kills in the battle lines there, but yeah, big bomb coming in from Blank. Oh, he almost gets it, and well, the KC does go down to the squad.
Yeah. Basically decloaked in the go-to spot on upward, which should basically be checked in any division, honestly, but they synced it up nicely with a soldier bomb, so in the end it worked. I was a bit critical, like they got the met with a real nice coordination from the flank, but after that they literally just had their demo walk forward alone. They needed to support him a bit more there. He was quite fortunate to not go down. There's an amazing bear battle against the sniper there on the hill, but nothing is happening. The soldier gets completely denied, but they get this card for free because they're all forced into this passive position. Not even forced, they just stay passive. I don't know why they stay passive on these points.
Yeah, I mean, they probably didn't feel confident enough to going out into that sight line of the sniper there. I mean, Lucian was still alive, and yeah, they just didn't really have any other players out there other than Zodiac. So they're going to be trying to retreat down to this third point now, as Spy, Fluff could be kind of roaming around in these under areas looking for the Pixie Cam, but the Pyro, Val going to be doing some good splicing flames around the area as the NG is building up the sentry. Badger does go down though, so Lucian managed to find that pick. As they're going to be slowly pushing up this car. Lucian actually in this top area right now as the Uber does come out. I just going to be getting the flash in. This main is going to be on to TK, trying to kill the sentry, although Gimme kind of kited this very well. Viking above though, I did not see that at all. Heavy coming in there, trying to clean up a lot of frags, and so many people going down right now.
The detrimental to this is you need the card forward to push in like that. Like the card was really far back, and I mean they definitely helped them in kiting this because they should have just went a bit more braver into them. Like they just stood there in their positions when the card was not far up. It's a very good kind of position to hold to the corner that is, but only if you actually get something out of that, namely the card being forward and helping your flank, or just pressuring this. The sniper won the sniper duel there against Lucian, who dies again. Like
that was actually Burr actually with a headshot from the Ambi and then body shotting him through with it as well. So big Ambi shots coming up. Burr doing a lot for this team right now. But Magister in this side house area, Vikings in this top area, going to be pushing this, trying to watch this cart as well with a minion on the tracks, trying to deny them. But the big fight going on in this side house does not manage to deny Magister.
Aku! He goes down to Blank.
God.
He just completely annihilated him with like a really good jump from the little trash house there. Which is basically, I can't call this location because it's not allowed for me to swear, but it's the little side house, you know. There's a sniper still on this card, Lucian, he's going down though, but this was a very nice jump from the soldier. They're still giving up this ground kind of, they need to be a bit more braver once again. Support your soldier here. The demo is weak as well. He should go down. He's getting shot around the corner and now get the soldier off. Like, they're so passive. Go forward. What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know why they're sort of back here. I mean, the conch just pops out as well. Fluff could be walking into a conch soldier. Will be going down there. They're all kind of thinking about going under though. Black trying to jump in here, trying to get this card. Joy still actually under the effects of that conch. He picked up a few frags of his own.
Bear got Cohen though, so there is again like 40-50% advantage on the red side as Magister is getting blasted up the cliff. Everyone is dying. They're doing quite good here on the defensive phase, and there's only 40 seconds, so that's already GG. And like the Spy did so much. When you said like headshot, I'm not used to Spy's headshotting anymore, or in essence anyway, you know? Like, so I mean the flank goes down, which would be completely perfect if they had another like 40-50 seconds, but they kind of don't, so it is lock cleaning time. Goodbye. Sweet minutes.
TK getting blown off the cliff by the sentries. There's just not that much to deal with this level 3 sentry that they've got going. Val trying to jump in as well on the pyro as Scout to be trying to push the cart in, but I mean, there's only 10 seconds left, so as you say, this is GG, and who's even got Uber to add insults. I'm sure I'll say that, but he drops anyway. But it's not going to matter anyway from Lucian. As, yeah, there we go. So, I mean, what do you think was kind of the major problem in the offense there, coming out from Phoenix?
To be quite fair, oh wait, yeah, right, that was my pick. Damn, I was just about to say, oh, how amazingly, anyway. So, the first point kind of worked nicely because they got lots of card pressure, and then they kind of pushed a bit too slowish. They could have pushed a bit faster because they just got so much ground, and basically the first 2 points were won by them taking aggression in, but also to be 100% fair, the kind of red side just playing very, very passive, even if they had Uber advantage and stuff like that. And on the third point, the main issue was they pushed, but they didn't push the card, so that push was completely thwarted. After that, the sniper got killed by the Spy, so there were no openings. Then the Met got stabbed once again, and to be quite fair on the face of it, they didn't even have that much time. I think they had like 3 or 4 minutes max on this third point, so that basically translates to 3 pushes, and if your medic gets stamped down, that's already like only 3.5 pushes, and it adds up, and the sniper died as well, and they lost the flank one time, so that's already minus 2 minutes that I just recall from these kind of plays, you know, and then it's quite quickly where you just don't cap the third point because of that.
Yeah, it does all kind of add up in the end, I suppose, like when you start losing players where you probably don't want to be. And yeah, I think, like, as you said about the positioning from Gimme opponent, like, they're just very passive. They weren't being forced into positions they didn't want to be. And like,
well,
the meds...
I would be happy if the defensive team would stay in their spawn, you know, like, I mean, they didn't get forced into a passive position because they couldn't be more passive.
No, I mean, like, they were just, you know, they just wanted to make sure people were alive from second, which is why they didn't really come out. And then they managed to defend third with it, alright, so ended up working out for $1 million, I guess, so that's all that really matters. As they're going to be going into this sort of second round of this best of 3. So, looking for, I don't know, Phoenix to possibly pick up a bit. I think that their combo as well has been a bit segregated from each other. Like, TK probably hasn't been getting the support he needs to on demo. And the Ubers haven't really been that effective either. So, they kind of just need to... I don't know, try holding the W key slightly more.
It is a freaky Saturday action right now, which means I am actually going to talk about logs because I just pulled them up. It is obviously a soldier on top who had massive 5 spy frags, which basically translates to I win, and to 6 spy scout frags as well. He was just doming the flank, honestly. 4 soldier picks as well on Droy, just you know, cementing this kind of passive hold. I think he just did an awful lot of work on the defensive mode as an explosive class on defense. Amazing. After that we basically have TK with 14 frags though, so that's already a 7 frag difference. Kind of low frag game in general, and he basically got all like most of his frags by the jump in onto second and the heavy going down, and then the sniper and then heavies, and the pick clutch in the flank of Phoenix a bit down, so you already know that it's lacking in what is happening.
Yeah, you kind of... You timed the reading out the logs alright, to be fair, because we're just going to go out into a pause, so I may as well continue.
Well, I just wanted to time it like that, so I don't have to linger onto these logs like, oh no, the game is going on, but now...
Debated.
Yeah, debated. Also, Bear, did he get... I didn't see him, but did he get the step from where he is right now? Like the round before?
Yeah.
That is basically the go-to spot, since Stevie kind of showed where you can jump on as a spy 5 years ago or something. Like, Pyros should check, and the medic could easily blame you, Pyro.
Yeah, I mean, Berg will be using that same spot. I wonder if they'll actually find it this time. I mean, I'm excited to see you get to be doing a bit more spoil checking on these rocks, like very thorough, because you know.
He checks the broken sticky spot. That's already good. There comes a suicide wave though. They're all down.
Oh yeah, that was that was pretty decisive. Gonna be not very forced at the moment. Burr actually unplugged very early. We're trying to go for this sniper pick, but I don't know. Maybe he probably should have waited again. Probably didn't feel like he would have got away with the med frag again, but I don't know. Maybe he could have pushed his luck a little bit more. Joy will be spamming out the dispenser, still clumps behind this rock. Broken again, doing a decent job of pushing up his car. Looks like a big pipe, but does go down, but decent progress right there. No other really suicide plays coming in at the moment. Sentry still far back, and Dimmer's timing him out quite consistently, so I wonder if they'll go for anything else here.
They need to support the engineer on the right side. Like, he's only alone there. Now the Pyro's joining him, but they need to take more flanks. Like, Magister just gets spammed from the left. Now the soldier's relit as well. He's trying to spam something with like 1 HP on the direct hit. They do get the teleporter down though. The spy is going behind the lines. Lucian goes down and Blank goes down. That just slows down your push once again. Like, they didn't take a decisive route or like occupied 2 routes. So they just got completely crushed from this little high ground from top right just by the splash damage, you know?
Yeah, and like, you know, on this defense right now with Badger being alive and doing pretty well, is just gonna try and deny them as much as he can. I mean, body shot of Blank already does get a soldier. So, you know, he knows the right targets to pick off because he wants these jumping classes to be denied as much as he can. Gonna be building up a bit of a minion dispenser trying to push this offense in. Very kind of slow right now. I mean, you know, Lucian not able to find Badger at the moment as he's going to take out the heavy on his own team. But, I mean, yeah, Burr going in with a stab. There we go. So actually turning on to Lucian and giving Badger even more free reign.
I mean, it's an 8k on a sniper. Like, they're just staying there, you know? Like, Cohen is just waiting for his players, or I don't know, like, for the team's players. And the main issue is they were just getting picked off constantly, and they just wanted to push with a full contingent, but they forced themselves into this kind of passive position. The sentry gun goes down to a ball from the scout, and there comes the push because the sniper went down earlier as they're getting blasted into the C spot. Now comes the counter Uber, way better onto the Pyro, just chasing the demo mate literally into the spawn. There goes Cohen, everybody gets burnt down, or burnt out rather, as the cool kids say, and now he is still chasing these frags. Zodiac is on a 4k, and I mean, they pushed because the sniper was down, which is definitely a really good pick to push off, but the problem is they used really early.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to need to take more high ground there, and like if you've got a really passive sentry like this, they just need to try and take playground and like the top left area towards where the center point is a bit earlier. I mean, Joy's on Conus right now, going to be trying to spam out as much as he can, and there's going to be 3 down again on this offense. Zodiac trying to like MG the inch of the side here, as they just get picked off on himself. I mean, they're faster spawners, but they need to be taking advantage of him a bit more, I feel, and Haku, you know, add on a defense as well is going to be helping even more.
All these defensive classes are on kill streaks, like on 4 or 5 kill streaks from the sniper as well before he went down on an 8. Oh, there we go, there comes the stab though. Fluff, not fluffing that stab, killing the medic, take him out of the equation. Now they have to watch out though, because now on the defensive team you can stay a bit more forward, because when you don't get out as easily as like a heavy, you can get a bit cheeky, but he got killed there. Viking got gunned down early. Fluff also dies, trying to make something work on the second point. There's only Blank right now being able to make something work. They're pushing this tracks, and they still have this big advantage, so maybe they can make something out of that one.
Yeah, I mean, they managed to get quite a few picks there. I mean, they're going to be coming through the side area right now. Probably not 100%. May as well just use, I mean, save his players here. Demo going to be walking in. Val going to get caught out. Level 3 they've got to deal with, though. Gunslinger trying to do as much as he can with this sentry gun. But Hakar's going to be moving in very quickly, and I think they're wisely deciding to back out here, Gimme opponent, and try and get a bit of a third hold.
Yeah, if they would have been like, there was potential, but they're just going to play it safe. As for a lack of other words, just playing it safe. So Zodiac is dying though, so kind of Scout already lacking. They need to make something out of their advantage.
Oh my god!
What they're getting right now, as the sniper kills someone and then the spy gets a 2k, and that basically carries you as pick classes. Amazing.
Yeah. Vikings still in the zipper area, they're kind of struggling to deal with him effectively, but I mean, yeah, it's not going to matter because I mean, there's somebody down, you know, no sniper, no mid, so they have buffs. I mean, they don't have Uber just yet, but Cohen going to be sitting on a 75 out at least here. As cart's going to be slowly moving up. I think they are going to try and like push the cart a bit further before they try and push in. And you know, losing the defensive soldier is good, so Lucian manages to find that as well. And yeah, going to be 100% for Cohen right now. Going to be trying to walk in with his heavy in the front lines. Val could be bravely trying to come forward here, and they use very early. Val doing so much to deny us. I don't know why they used just for a single pyro there. And you know, Sentry's reasonably far back. Fluff finds another stab onto the sniper. And going to be single-handedly killing the Sentry as the rest of his team is so slow. I don't know why they don't just help him.
Well, they were really complacent. They didn't take the kind of positions. I don't know why, where they just like got 4 frags or something. So they just stayed on second. Then they waited for them to respawn. Then they used really early, got denied by a pyro. But it doesn't matter. I get tears in my eyes. It's a reminiscent because a combo gets carried by pick classes. I've never seen that one before. Now they're kind of just pushing this lower area as the soldier gets completely annihilated by CK, by the reflect, and the Prodigy is going to take this aggression onto the high ground. The Ubers are equal, so they just have to pressure them out early and work against this high ground. Maybe distract the Heavy's focus, who is just reigning superior right now here.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to go front stairs. I mean, yeah, they're getting absolutely collapsed under here, but you know, CK will find those 2 frags onto Zodiac and Burr. But Cohen goes down in the process, so you know, the flanks, like I just said, like will manage to get that med pick. We're 100% on Haku right now, as Demo KC could be trying to bomb them out as much as he possibly can in this under area. Carl has moved up like reasonably far though, so they need to be careful there's not getting sneak caps, and Gunslinger will find a spot on the top as well.
Yeah, that's nice. Also, Blank got the force now with the 2nd or 3rd time he done that jump, but could have synced it up a bit better, but in the end he gets the results, he gets the force, which is kind of nicely played, so they have 30% advantage right now. They can pressure this early as the Pyro kind of fails his jump. He is under though, he definitely just completely wanted to do that as he's fragging the Spy down, or no, the Heavy even, and Broken goes down. So the card is even lingering back now a bit because the flank is controlling the card, the defensive flank very well, so they kind of have to make this work with the Uber. I would like them to take a bit more initiative, like to be a bit more aggressive. They got this kind of soldier down, which is definitely opening up a lot of space for you, but they kind of need to use this Uber.
Yeah, and you know, with Badger on his box area, you know, taking out Lucian as I say that, and you know, Droy was doing a good job of actually trying to keep him back as well on the soldier, but it does go down. You know, Gimme Uber exchange in this, at this moment in time though, in this Hall's area, upper area, but they're going to bring it to a level 3, still up here by Gunslinger, and they're taking so much damage as well in this sort of lower area. Badger's going to be trying to DM the Pyro, but runs into a scout and a level 3 sentry, and Droy in the return as he comes back into this upper area, kills Broken and Cohen. So yeah, so many frags in favour of the defense.
That was really nice split up teamwork from the Scout and the Pyro, and then after that the Demo Giant on the defensive side, so they completely soaked this up without even needing to be using this Uber. Badger is completely uncontested on these crates, he's on a 5k. Cohen dies as well. Yeah, kind of Sniper Sideline is a very stable thing in this map, and it's definitely really fun to die to a fully charged body shot. 7k. I can't call, like at this point I can't call snipers anymore, you know, that is the point we have reached on. Now, like kind of Fluff killed the engineer before, which definitely could open up a lot of space, but he probably needs to focus the sniper a bit more, as they're just trying to make something work. There's still 70% disadvantage on the blue side. They need to be a bit more aggressive. They do get the frags right here, you know, like get your potential forward.
Yeah, I mean, Uber does actually get used by Haku in this area onto the Demo. Gonna be chasing him with a ham. Be scared of that arm as Lucian running for his life, but does still go down to Zodiac on the scout, going down very low. They're just not really finding any sort of team aggression in on offense. Like, they seem to be going at the same time, but it's just kind of in and out, and then one by one. As Gunslinger just very persistent with this level 3, and they're very struggling with it, I think. And Badger, as you say, uncontested on these boxes.
The Spy was on him, and he poked him twice in the face, and then he got shanked down, and then after that the Sniper got an arrow once again, you know. I mean, he's on a 10k. Someone needs to stop him. After he gets double digits, your team is just going to scream consistently, mumble while the Spy is not dealing with this Sniper. There is an Uber exchange, well, kind of one-sided Uber exchange, because there's only one Uber. And they kind of won this temporarily, the fight for high ground, because they're just completely getting flamed upon and flanked upon, and also the just splash damage just came in, just backed up by the sniper play, and they're still going to get a bit out. They get the frags. The main issue is they need to be fast, you know, with their spawns, but it's probably going to be indecisive.
Yeah, I'm surprised how many frags they got there, and like the rest of the team didn't really try and come in. I mean, the car has rolled back even further now, and you know, Badger is still uncontested in this top area. I mean, the soldier tries to jump to him, but again, you know, Gunslinger with this sentry in the same spot, going to be denying that. As the combo from Gimme opponent is going to be trying to go under here. They're just not really trying to contest any of the space they've got, and you know, Harky now on about 40% Addis code is not really building. Yeah,
it's really a Gimme opponent right now. They're literally looking for these opponents, you know, like the flank is just consistently chasing down single players, which makes it atrociously hard to just push something in. Like, these defensive classes are on so high kill streaks. Lucian goes down once again. this flank is just doing so much and the sniper's just doing so much. You need to have coordinated aggression into an area, you need to fight for an area, just stay there and then pressure the enemies out that could do harm to you. Zodiac goes down, that's an early scout pick, so you can make this work. Come on, abuse the free space you're getting right now from under, push there with your combo, and now there comes a conch, so you need to soak that conch up, but maybe you can kill an extending soldier. This is exactly what they're not doing. He just survived. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, he's too speedy. Speedy Gonzalez on that soldier, on the conch. But again, you know, Karga rolling back. Badger, even more of a kill streak. Actually on a 12 kill streak right now. I mean, the thing is as well, like Fluff and Blank managed to kill the sentry before, but Gunslinger's still alive. It's going to be building up again because he's got all the time in the world to do so. And you know, combo from Phoenix Sun's going to be trying to exchange now. Majesty gets even on quite early, but yeah, Haku uses in return onto his own demo. Gonna be trying to spam them out. There's some big sticks. He needs to he does pick off TK, but I don't think he manages to find Cohen. But as I say that, the flank comes in from Gimme opponent from under, and there's so many dead right now for Phoenix as you're gonna be in the respawn queue.
I mean, Lucian finally got the counter frag on Baja, who went down, but after that, the red combo just completely annihilated the blue combo with a better Uber. Fluff though gets... No, I thought that was a stab. Was it a stab? No, I think it just went down, right? But yeah, that kind of just being a bit too complacent for my liking. They need to be more forward. There we go. I'm using my language as they get the scout frag, but that's kind of it, you know. Like, they need to sniff out what advantages they are getting with these picks. It's basically what you need to do when you want to push a last point. And Lucian is still in this. What is he doing? He is completely alone under, and the heavy is still spinning. How does he not see him? Interesting passage of play. They do get a soldier frag for that.
Yeah, even Lucian's trying to go into right now, gonna be trying to fight a spike and trying to find a snipe onto the heavy on the stairs, but yeah, they're just looking for like different angles now. I mean, the comms in their mumble or whatever they're using must be kind of a bit toxic at the moment, because you can tell just with the way they're playing, they're just very segregated. And it's just gonna be, you know, all over the place right now as Uber comes out, Haku, and the force goes onto Cohen as well. They're letting Pyro Val with a nice force there. Peeking through that doorway, we'll get it. I mean, they're losing quite a few on this defense, but again, this level 3 is alive with the help of the soldier sitting next to it, and they're just not finding anything here.
You can't just assume they're toxic. I'm pretty sure they're just, like, they're not Prem yet, so they are probably friendly gamers, and they try to back up their strategies right now. They still spam Viking. I mean, I like this because it's a bit of a slower game, and you can actually talk about strategies. So, pro tip, you need to take a kind of decisive route and get your flank on tracks at that kind of point. There is a scout fight still. He gets the better of Zodiac and runs into a level 3. Like, he needs to have backup there when he's doing these places. They do get the frags right now. Like, there are 4 players down. Go forward. This Uber doesn't matter. Go forward. Take the positions.
I think Cohen died again as well. Like, just only came off the respawn there. So, it'd be a massive ad for Haku. Like, they just need to keep their mid alive even more, I think. He was trying to walk into this top area. Burr just get a bit of Lucian as well, and Badger again in this boxes area, now on a 2k as he's sort of been denied a bit more. Uber does get forced though onto Viking, so Haku having to use there to defend against that and try and keep his heavy alive, but I mean, they should be careful that it's not going to go down here as they try to retreat back into this upper area. They've just got no answers for what Gimme opponents are doing right now.
Well, as I was saying, like, they need to just be aggressive. This wouldn't be happening to them if they actually, like, even if they lose their medic, like, what are you just staying around for the medic? Like, leave one player back there to build with him or something, and then go aggressive, because, like, Bear's on a 6k, he dies though, but Bear is already on a, like, 4k. They're just giving these people so much freedom. Blank jumps in, let's see if he can make something work. He's trying to sync up something with a spy. Finally some good coordination as the Met probably gets faced up or something, screams around him, mumbles, so now you can push, they don't have comms.
Oh, but Cohen goes down in return. Badger's still in this top space. He's not going to get denied. Like, Lucian is not, like, able to counter snipe him in this spot, and it's being a massive pain for their team. And, you know, the rest of the combo is still sitting up here. The demo and heavy still in these stairs for this tiles area, and the flanks will getting more cleaned up, but even then, like, they lose TK. They just need to, like, try and keep their demo and their mid alive, it seems, at this point.
It's the amazing upward 4th experience. I really like that one. The soldier jumps on the low ground and is going to go in a fantastic soldier vs soldier battle and gets outflanked by the heavy. So finally they're engineering themselves early picks again, but it's probably all gonna be for naught. They try to get something here, the Val goes down to broken. So that's 4 picks again, you know. This soldier jumps in completely by himself. Gunslinger is on an 8k with this level 3 sentry gun, and Skyfox is alone on this card. Like, they're just leading their players in once again. They're not kind of decisively pushing forward together.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, level 3 still up there, and managed to pick off Sky Fox as the car goes around the corner, and broken again, starting into the Sentry. Like, they can't ignore this level 3 from Gunslinger. It's just not going to happen. Lucian is finding Badger again, though, so he actually kind of stepping up and denying him from this boxes area. But they need to go in, like, with this Badger pick. They're just not really using any of, like, the advantages that they actually have for them, and, you know, it's even Ubers right now. They have 3 seconds to get on the car. Viking gets dropped in this Ubers, this exchange goes on, 3 down on the defense right now. You know, there's only going to be 1 person on the car, but, you know, Demo shifting his focus onto the car will find that, and somebody down on the offense, so yeah, it's going to be only 3 points count for an offense, just probably very disappointed.
Maybe better than getting that final cap time on the scoreboard, which probably would have been like, I don't know, like 13-14 minutes or something.
Probably, yeah.
So could have been quite hard, so you basically still have the same advantages that you could have before, because I'm quite sure that they wouldn't have been able to hold last for this long. So I think their best bet here is to just hold them either on first or on second in kind of an offensive hold if they have practiced that. But what you mentioned before, like, that's a bit more of an issue, especially on sometimes lower tiers. Like, they are waiting for advantages that they are kind of never getting for, like, the optimal push or something. But it's never about waiting for these things, you know, like, either you have to create them, obviously, or if you just have these picks, you just make it the optimal play. So you just need to take your advantages potentially, otherwise you're just waiting for something that will never happen.
Yeah, like a sniper pick on last, especially on Badger, because he's been, like, you know, has been popping off, and Lucian kind of finding those picks onto him. They need to be, like, just going off that, you know, using the long range damage, you know, walking into main more. It's harder for the Demo to spam out the window than it is from anywhere else, because all you gotta do is just spam back into the window. And, you know, make them come onto the tracks, make them come onto the cart, but they just don't really want to do that ever, and they didn't really focus on level 3 either. But, yeah, gonna be switching sides now as they go into this defense. They got to defend, well, it's only 3 points now, so if they cap last at all, Gimme opponent, they will end up winning this. As Lucian finds Badger actually to start off with, so, you know, maybe being a bit more favourable now on this defense for him.
Yeah, the soldier focused, though, like, they kind of have their preset in their brain. I mean, it worked because he got a frag, but he could have gotten a kind of free sniper frag there, but he was just so committed to getting a heavy down, and right now it maybe enables Lucian to get his range superior, so might just enable Phoenix Sun to get early frags as they're trying to push out top right here. The Gimme opponent team, the Met's still not out, the soldier's committing to a second suicide wave, just jumped the sentry and completely spams, gets annihilated though by a pipe from the Plumberman. The Spy's trying to get on the high ground right now, and we're just slowly, complacently waiting for Gunslinger to be on 10 HP and them pushing in.
Yeah, probably about right. I mean, they're gonna be. I mean, essentially slightly further forwards than the team were trying to do. Badger finding Lucian this time, so it could be an offensive sniper advantage right now as he walks onto this roof area. Gunslinger actually on Gunslinger now. Going to be spamming this mini onto them. They're denying a lot of space, to be fair. This offense is trying to walk in on the car. Ubers are going to be exchanged, most likely. CK going to be receiving the brunt of this on Pyro. He's trying to airbus back Haku as much as he can. Demo getting body blocked as well, but Viking quite aggressive in his top area. Magister as well, going to try and peek this to playground. But the offense seems to be just absolutely wrapping the defense right now. And a lot goes down, and Cohen goes down in the process as Haku is still alive.
So, like, I was trying to refrain from the main, like, from being a bit too critical, but the main issue is, like, CK was Ubert, you know, and I don't know, like, he tried to blast the Met out, like, they had to commit so much for the result being the Met being 2 centimeters further away than before. The scout rushes in though and gets the Met frag, but they kind of still probably going to steal off the second cap, just because they had to overcommit like mega hard on the first point and didn't actually get any results out of that. They're getting spammed to oblivion on this low ground here right now as Badger just completely kills Denim and takes his head off. Viking is still on top, and they're probably just going to steal out the second cap just for free. So as I was saying, now it is basically their best bet to get something completely convincingly on the third point.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice play from Blank and Broken onto the medic there. You know, flank coming in to try and redeem the defense team here. As Haku now on a bit less percent, so it's going to be a decent add-on current to try and defend this. And they do have the level 3 setup as well, so it's good to see. Magister and Blank in this top area, they're going to be trying to get denied by Val and Viking, pushing them out as much as they possibly can. But they need to still need to move this cart up quite a lot. And there's so many dominations right now, as I was pointing out, on the side of Gimme opponent, because they're coming out from their defense, and also the fact that they're just not dying probably that much either. As yeah, going to be slowly building up this Uber for Haku. Fluff going to be decloaking on the car, see if we can get some picks. Just managed to pick off the NG and gets the scout as well, so nice 2k to deny the cart right there. So sitting pretty on 3rd point.
That was really important. Because they lost their strong defensive classes before, like the CK killed himself with something, I think, where he just died there on the 3rd point, and then they lost another class, and that would basically be a free point for the offensive team, but this double stab on the card completely inhibited them from getting any card time at all, so now, I mean, the Uber advantage was in the defensive hands anyway, but the main issue is their players were not up, so it gave them the time to have these players respawn. Right now they're just slowly looking around. What you have to do right now is just watch this card or watch this Uber push. Like, don't give this card time up for free, what they're doing right now. They're playing a bit too passive.
Yeah, I mean, the demo probably needs to be spamming the cards as much as they can. And, you know, Viking will be trying to look to go in the side house, I think, area from below. So they're going to be trying to contest the cart as much as he can, manage to kill off the scout. Demo is spamming the cart a bit now, and Blank's doing a good job in this top area as well. He's not getting denied as he should be. You know, Spy tries to go for him. But Joyce will be trying to spam him out as much as he can now, but you know, he needs to be dealing with this conch solid in the top area on 3rd, because it's can be very annoying for your combo if they try and walk in when he's still up there.
They had 4 picks there. You could see that Viking is still on this flank house. When you get so many picks, you can be a bit more fast, loose and easy to sniff out any early attempts of bomb rushes. There comes an Uber exchange right now. It should definitely favor the kind of defensive team as they flash a Spy disguised as a heavy and Magister goes down as well. So they need to be more forward here. Support your scout who is completely pounding on his own though with a Spy, and they actually clean these people up. So there we go, probably going to hold for the next 30 seconds. So they just have to hold this point for like 7.5 minutes and they're probably going to win this. They're fighting this really nice right now. This sentry and this flank is just doing so incredibly much.
Yeah, I think they've kind of like adapted and learned from what Gimme were doing, like its positioning wise, which is good. Fluff, I don't know if that was an air blast. No, I don't think it was. He just falls down the small gap on the side, down the side of the stairs. So fall to his death. But yeah, don't worry about this timer because if they cap last at all, they will still win this. So this is just 5 seconds to cap 3rd. As it seems it will go to a bit of a last push. It seems. Someone's been trying to get on the cart right now. And Sentry is still up though, so you know, need to be careful of that. And advantage is actually on the side of Cohen, so this should still.
CK completely piped himself and surfed forward with that. Somehow he's been on the beach. You can tell that surfing. Fluff is now trying to do something with the Dringer charge, with a speed buff, and they need to support his demo. Like, go forward here, spam this card. Someone help him, support him. Cohen goes down as well. They're just staying there. They're just getting completely flanked. I mean, it is still kind of a last hold where they can just eke out this time, but I kind of feel like I don't know if the demo dies as well. Like, if you back out to last, you know, like, don't lose your players then. Or maybe it's even like a healthy thing to just back out instantly to last because they probably didn't want to be completely like convincing themselves toward the third.
Yeah, the problem was there though that I think Cohen went down somewhere in the back and now he's going to be like nowhere near the Uber of Haku, and Haku's going to be using on the Pyro, I think it seems. Val just been trying to clear this up of space. He'll be holding W. Fluff does manage to find the demo actually in the back as he gets dropped from the Uber. Trying to deny this as much as possible, but I mean, Val, you know, with some big flames coming in there to get them out of the upper area and some big damage. There's only 2 up right now, Lucian and Blank. Many people are left alive. Lucian getting a nice snipe onto Badger, some nice headshot onto the people on the cart. But I mean, there's still some people in the spawn. Droid on Soldier, you'll be spamming them out from behind, and this is just utter chaos going on right now.
Oh, the flank is buying decent amount of time though to get their spawns in once again. That was nicely salvaged. Zodi Broken goes down to Haku though on the backlines and Blanket to kill on the Spy. They kind of need to fight this heavy off the card right now to look in good shape. There's nobody really contesting him except their heavy from the back. And yes, there comes the stab though. The blue team kind of did what the Phoenix Sun team didn't do the round before, which was basically take all the aggression to them. I mean, full Uber advantage definitely helps in these kind of scenarios, but still.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of moving a bit quicker, and then that's probably both teams' problems here. But I mean, Gimme couldn't have been a bit better with that. I mean, this needs to be careful peeking this main spot right now as Lucian just go down to the Spy, so nice pick.
Fluff though, on the defensive route, completely crushed the offensive medics, so they could have made this work as the demo gets wrenched down by Skyfox 85. Yeah, alert to Skyfox, or no, has that Sky? I can't do it. Okay, whatever this N64 game is called, not Skyfox, Starfox. Starfox, he basically wrenched him into the galaxy.
Nice. Cohen gonna be some sticks here. Val. Oh my god, the massive pipes from TK. There we go. Was kind of questionable positioning there from the combo. give your opponent as they try and walk in there. Sap goes onto the sentry of Sky Foxes, but didn't really find anything. Zodiac be trying to suicide into the cart, but I mean, Gunslinger has the level 3 here actually on this track area. But gonna be a massive add for Cohen, still sitting in this top area with Magister pretty comfortably, and TK doing a lot more now than he previously was.
Nice coordination on the level 3 in main. That's basically why I do these rod plays, by the way. So these players think he has way too much time to think up these things, so we just get our energy to kill the players more decisively. As I say that though, they get a lot of openings on the defensive kind of power. Zodiac goes down. That's a really good pick, and there's still 50% advantage. They need to watch out for rushing players and for this card time.
Badger doing work though. I mean, he takes out Lucian, manages to body shot the Pyro through the top window on from the low ground, so trying to make some plays for his team right now, but then he's making use of them. They need to be going forwards with them, draw over the bomb, but doesn't actually force Cohen actually, so yeah, we'll run into Magister, we'll get picked up in the process, but we're trying to Uber in here. Harker is way out, so it shouldn't really be that big of a problem. Magister needs to get caught out here, but yeah, Zodiac's constantly keeping his cart up, which is one worry of theirs.
It's really nice of the scout to ruin SKD. Back in the day, it was a spy's job to just declock consistently on that. Lucian, as a sniper, goes down alone in main, getting blasted off, and there comes now the complete Uber advantage onto the top. It does get denied, really nice by CK. Nobody dies to that initial Uber, and they forced him to the slow ground into a sentry gun, completely getting plumped down by TK.
Wow, TK with the... is that Quickie Bomb, actually? I think it is still Quickie Bomb. Yeah, it is Quickie Bomb. Wow, okay, so yeah, using Quickie Bomb to great effect here on his defense, and managed to pick off Burr as well. He's doing so much more than he has previously, like I said before. So, you know, he could be second top scorer only under his medic. So it's good to see here, since Casey was making some plays up to this point. Going to be contesting them. Lucian, taking to what Badger was doing earlier, going to be in this top area, not quite on the boxes, but on this window. Going to be seeing if he can find that sniper pick in return. Magister to be sort of going down to slow area, making sure the cart isn't going to get instantly capped by a Squires. I think as Cohen going to be sitting on Uber again, but looking to see if they can bring out another force player as Burr gets to stab onto the NG, which brings down the sentry.
Yeah, Star Fox goes down. Where was Slippy there? Now comes Pyro now on the cart. They have to watch out for this cart. There's just this flank on the cart with the Pyro as well, and they're probably going to cap this off in front of the Uber with a spy on top. Amazing. This is what you do. You kind of not bait your flank, but as a spy, you know, to be the hero in the end. So they win that 2-0, sweeping over upward.
Yeah, I mean, Gimme opponents seeing the opportunity there, just going in. I mean, that's what I was on about before. It's just like, you know, if they're all in the upper area, I mean, it forced them to get on the cart. They had decent progress there, and with the sentry going down, it was just only a matter of time, really, until that happened. You know, Burr with some good focus onto the sentry gun, which is what Phoenix Sun was kind of lacking as a whole, as a team. I mean, despite that, you know, despite Fluff even getting the sentry picks before for his team, they just didn't manage to push off it, which has been unfortunate. So ultimately, that just gets them the better last times, and going to be winning them that map. So next map will be Gullywash. I mean, what are your thoughts on this map, Domaytoe?
In general, or considering this game?
For Highlander.
It's my first favorite 5CP Highlander map, and yeah, it's basically...
Well, is there any other 5CP? Is it a Process, maybe?
Process. It's an amazing map to watch and to walk through choke points once in 30 minutes. So, Gullywash is definitely my go-to 5CP Highlander map. The problem on Upward was they kind of didn't completely were like decisive, and like the main issue is they didn't 100% knew what the winning conditions for them were, and that's the issue on Gullywash, where there is a lot more winning conditions, I would say, per se, as just I walk into one last point. It is basically I walk into one of two flanks, so it's always twice the options, you know. But the main issue is you also have to coordinate a lot without you seeing the people, so you have to use your thinker and your ears instead of only your brain and your eyes, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more coordination that needs to be done, especially on the last and third points. I mean, when it comes to like the sentries I keep going on about, and like the cart, I think both teams kind of could have denied the cart a bit better than they did. But you know, when you get these sort of big, like heavy picks on the balcony, or you manage to get the sniper, or you manage to get like the flank just as a whole, so there's not really much to deny you on the cart, it gets to be a bit more trouble, and it makes teams panic, I think, and then they kind of have to retreat. But I mean, comparing that to Gullywash, it's mainly just like a mid fight, and then they just have to be careful of the back caps, really. I always find Gullywash is one of those maps where it's just back cap central. There's always a scout, there's always a spy looking to try and cap on the back lines, especially on last as well. Like if you decide to try and peek out, and you always need that one person sitting on last to try and defend it.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's why I love Gullywash. There are really funny moments that you can do, staying on the last point as a spy, especially just in general. You can use a lot more, as people don't see these days, to, I don't want to say bait your flank, but you can kind of bait your players to get a bit more fast and easy, so you can get the hero plays. So it doesn't actually matter that you don't do that much the entire time during the game, you know? If you just have the hero play on the camera as well, you just look good.
All about that limelight. We're trying to be as DM heavy as possible, like an absolute DM.
What's your opinion on Gullywash then?
I mean, yeah, like I said, I mean, it's kind of like back caps, but then also, you know, mid fights are obviously important, but you just have to be really careful pushing out from last. Really, you need to make sure you got like enough picks in your favor and the right picks as well. But I mean, Uber advantages can be quite big on this map, especially pushing into like second and last. Because on mid they often get kited, like if the teams are smart and they're counting the Ubers properly. But on last, if you have an Uber just like go underneath or something, like I'm looking for these teams to have like heavy pyro Ubers from underneath, having the sniper go back, the soldier like jump in to try and distract like the demo and that sort of thing.
Before we get to, I will join in a second for this analysis of Gullywash, but the funny thing is now that people are not like forcing me to do logs, I feel a bit weird and complacent not to talk about them. So, okay, we're completely skipping them entirely. Foppish, you are my favorite producer right now. The players can't hear them though. So we're not talking about logs. We are talking about things that matter. So you have to, you can do an awful lot of work with your flank here if you just completely coordinate, right? It doesn't even matter about the Uber. The Uber are definitely a factor in this game, but you don't need this Uber in this game mode, especially not if you have so much open space, you know. These kind of maps are usually dominated by players having more sixes classes, telling them how to play sixes maps.
Yeah, I suppose I would agree to some extent there. I mean, as this being quite a common sixes map, it's looking for the sixes players that can DM to just really come into their own. And I'm kind of wondering if they'll let either team will run crits, to be fair. I mean, I know it can be kind of effective if your demo is pretty good. I mean, both demos have been doing a bit better after they've warmed up. Casey had some really good early on plays, and TK coming back at it with some decent defense stickies and that sort of thing. So if they pull off a crits, I'll be pretty impressed.
So as well, like there's really open map, and usually it is like back then it was thought to be a sniper sideline map, but it's actually not a sniper sideline map, and it's also not a spy MB map. I mean, nowadays, because the MB is not this good headshotting people that are not literally in your face, but also back then, at least for me, but only for people who can't aim, like, you know, like for spy it's actually better, I would say, than for sniper back in the day with the MB, but for sniper it's kind of long sidelines, but these sidelines are a bit covered sometimes and a bit clutch, and the people know where sniper can stand. There are not so many cheeky spots on this map, especially not in these kind of stalemates from the mid to the second point. So I don't think a sniper, like, it is important in the Uber a bit more, just denying space instead of just completely getting 11Ks or something.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, the sightlines can be a lot like thinner and there's less of them. I think the main thing to watch out for on this is like rotations. I mean, the map size isn't that big, like when it comes to like rotating and stuff like that. Like especially when it comes to last, like having a sniper peek from all these different angles that you possibly can do means that your team, you just have to like trust them. If you're a medic on last and you're like holding Uber, you really just got to trust your team to like try and hold down these areas, hold down these sightlines, and just call out where like the soldier and the sniper could be coming from, and just watch your back from the spy. As kind of waiting for these teams to ready up right now. I mean, what are your predictions coming into this then? Do you think this is going to be decent morale boost for Gimme opponents? Is going to roll it, or
the team with the that has the spy with the better microphone and the highest rank on his cloak and dagger will win this?
Right, I see. Because cloak and dagger, interesting.
No, not like that was for spies who couldn't like manage their cloak, you know, back in the day. But you can do literally the same with the Letranja and the Invis watch. I really, really love to just coordinate, especially like on this map, as you said about the rotations, because sometimes Uber countings are not on point, I would say, and you can get a bit messed up just counting this. So there is sometimes a bigger Uber advantage, and especially considering like only 20%, you know, like advantage. That's not much in Highlander per se, but if you exactly know where the enemy combo is and you can push on the dot with like a soldier or just jumping class in general and a scout, it can actually make a difference. So it's definitely really nice for coordination. So I think though, aside from that, it favors the team with a stronger flank.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I mean, if you can pull off like really to the spot Ubers, I think they can definitely be effective. I've seen like Prim teams in the past do that, like on 20%, 30% advantages, and then make them work. It just really depends on like how well they count Ubers and how aggressive the teams actually want to be on this map. I mean, Payload is a bit different than 5CP in terms of the mindsets probably of the players and how they're going to be playing. As both teams will have similar mindsets now rather than being on offense and defense. I mean, obviously when it comes to last, it's going to probably value your life a bit more. Especially like if you're a demo or a sniper or that sort of thing. But yeah, looking for these mids to do a lot more here.
It's a bit harder, I think, for Phoenix Sun here. Even I think King of the Hill map would have probably favored them a bit more, even though the DM aspect is very important there as well. Because on Upward or like on any payload map, if you slip up one time, it's basically done. Like you have lost the round. That is it. On Gullywash though, there are more rounds, but the issue is if you mess up like one time and okay, maybe a second time, then it's only little slip-ups though, but you already lost like 2 rounds, then it's also not favoring. I think it's a bit more forgiving than payload maps, but not as much as King of the Hill maps.
Yeah, it's kind of in that middle ground, really, isn't it? Of like Koth and like payload. I mean, obviously payload's like a completely different thing since it's like pushing something to the end on like this set track area. But I should say about like sort of make sure you can come back into the game and recouping and not getting like triggered by like losing 2 mid fights in a row, 3 mid fights in a row, whatever. Like teams can come back even from like 4 rounds down, or as long as they've got the time. Really, that's the important thing. Because on Gullywash, like if the team decides to like park the bus or something, it can often be a bit of a pain. But if you've got the time, people shouldn't really just worry like if they have effective Ubers and effective flank plays, as you mentioned the flank before,
or jumping into the enemy's big door with a quick fix and a soldier and a demo at the start of the round after you just won 2 rounds 5 minutes in, because this is my season 10 experience. The thing is, you're obliged to do these things, when you're a caster, and that was not even a scrim, that was an official game. After that, your medic dies, then he screams because he is a mouse, but you still kind of win because you can work this off. I mean, you can get psychological warfare in the enemy gamers' heads, but you have to watch out that you don't get too complacent because you have too much young people on your team.
Yeah, complacency can sometimes be an issue. It's just a matter of like making sure that you're all kind of staying focused. I mean, with these long games, especially grand finals as well, they can be quite long games, especially if it's like this double payload or like triple payload or something crazy like that. But going to this Gullywash, I mean, it's going to be a half-an-hour time limit to start off with. But seeing how long that kind of runs down, and whether like one team manages to get like a 5-0 roll, I don't think this will be a 5-0 roll. I'm not predicting it to be a 5-0 roll. I think it's actually going to be like
6-1,
relatively. yeah, 6-1 roll. No, I think it'd be more close than it was previously, because I think Phoenix have kind of warmed up to what Gimme opponent have been trying to do. Gimme opponent we're looking reasonably strong still on that payload, but I mean this is a bit of a different, and I'm expecting Gimme opponents to have quite a strong last hold, but maybe the aggression will be equal on mids. We'll have to wait and see.
If you go back on the really bad jokes, then I mean Phoenix Sun, like Phoenix first burns out, completely dies on the upward, and now it's time to rise again. Let's see if they can make this work though. I mean they have the symbolism in their way, and we're kind of like they're giving us so much time. I like this. What are your favorite stories about Gullywash, except capping last as a spy and looking amazing on kind of highlight reels?
My favorite one is actually the mid-finals that I casted, which was where the spy, I think it was Kitty versus Pizza Police, and the spy managed to cap because no one managed to stand on the point or something, and it was like 1 or 2 minutes left, or like 20 seconds left. I think it was something stupid like that, but there's like an infinite amount of back cap stories on this map. It actually triggers me.
It's also really fun when it's the enemy gamers streaming, so you can hear the comms. I always like when engineer says like I got this because he's on the last point, and then he gets out DM'd by a spy, dies, and there's like 5 seconds of silence, and then everybody goes loud. Why weren't you on the last? And yeah, I mean, easy.
The blame game begins.
Yeah, basically.
It's always on the NG or like the heavy or the pyro or something like that, because that's usually who it ends up being. But that's what I mean. Like it always kind of comes down to the communication, really. On 5CP. Especially because, I mean, if you're flanks in behind and they're communicating that they're in behind and the whole team's looking at them, that's when the rest of your team's going to be walking forwards as the sniper's distracted and the spy is possibly like having a harder time getting in, that sort of thing. So looking for them to kind of pull that off. And I think you'll see like the later on as it gets into the game, like what team has the better comms as the games go on longer and longer.
Exactly what you said, though. Like I like these counteraction of plays when like the flank is behind and communicating this. I mean, they can completely roll them by just communicating that, but in the other way around, the enemy team can just, if they have their comms on point, they can just walk forward and them not predicting that they're basically 2 players down by just pushing in. Like what you just said, it's definitely about the better communication, because when one team makes a play, the other one can just adapt really quickly on these kind of open maps, because you can be a bit more fast, loose, and easy with your positioning.
I think one thing to take into account on this map as well, like apart from communication, is like that other bit where it's like you're not communicating and you're just going to say you're hiding, and then you end up hiding. So I mean, you've got like the bit like the soldier standing above this doorway on second is always a like good hiding spot that people need to be checking. You got like some sticky spots that people can kind of pull off on the demo class. You got snipers that might like stand really far back in kind of conspicuous locations, like behind the second rock, or like peeking some weird sightline like down river or something. So they need to be sort of aware of like these kind of hiding spots from these teams if they really want to be the utmost best. And I'm expecting them to be used at least once or twice, especially by some of the flank classes.
Yeah, flank classes. Also, Scout will just run in 24/7 while getting 70% heals, because it is an American Scout and he has done nothing else than play MGE his entire life, and that's why he wins.
Seems legit.
No, no bias involved. HL Nations Cup. 20 last one essentially. So we're still waiting for this. Like, these players can't give me so much potential. I'm always holding back, but the thing is, if you have played this game for some time, you still have all these memories that at some point you want to let out. And what is the best instance for that? Exactly when Wiethoofd isn't here to shut me up. So.
Oh god. Domaytoe off his leash. This is just what happens. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it depends on how far your catharsis wants to go in terms of reminiscing on these Highlander plays on Gullywash in particular.
Back to season 5, which was basically, I don't even, when was that? Wait, that was 2013.
1994. Seems like
I'm not even that old, but it's just, I just started. I thought I started like really young, but then again, I just realized that people these days start way younger playing these games.
Yeah, I guess on that one. Yeah. I guess it's just they hear about TF2 and like, oh, it's free, and then there's download it, and then ends up getting to this point, and then you got like the new Highlander and Sixes communities coming forwards, and they watch these casts of some more experienced teams, like especially on like Prem Sixes and Prem HL, and they're like, this looks interesting, so see where we can go with that.
And they think, wow, it's literally only DM. I can do that.
Yeah, so only hold the W key. Let's go, boys. But no, it gets a lot more than that. I think the more you play the game modes, the more you realize it's like you can't get away with the stuff you'd be getting away with as you get against like better and better players, I suppose.
Yeah. Also, since the top is quite limited, I always really liked what was never that apparent. I feel like it's not like, especially in higher diffs, you're not playing against a class per se. You're playing against a player, and you can play a class very differently. So you literally just have to be aware that you're playing against individuals.
Yeah, it does sometimes get to that, but that's part of the mind games, as you were saying before. I think because like you kind of get into the mind games of like the actual players you're playing against when you get to know them. Like you get to know your opponents a bit better. Like you get to know what strats like certain teams do. Like and there's like the higher sort of TF2 community. I'm sure people will like know renowned strats that certain teams will do, like on payload or on 5CP or Koth and that sort of thing. It kind of like gets to this point where it starts making metas, and then people sort of just adapt to those metas, or they just try and see it for themselves and see how it goes. But it's all just part of getting better, I suppose.
Also, the long lost spy, like I can just go on a rampage here. The long lost spy techniques as well to adapting to different players is once, if people haven't noticed, you can press like last disguise on something on your different weapons, and then it can switch the weapons, and that sometimes looks convincing, and especially convincing if you look how the other gamers are playing and you attend LANs to look how they are switching their weapons to look even more convincingly. I don't know who would be that committed to something to do that.
That is some serious micro of mind games if that is the case. Because I mean, to be fair, you're not wrong. I mean, the more convincing you can be as a spy, the better, really. Even the higher up medics will sometimes fall for that. Can sometimes be like, especially in the middle of a fight as well. Like, you know, if everyone is healing and you know you're trying to hold on to your Uber and you're not going to be fully paying attention to the spy per se. So
Yeah,
might
and not
end up being
even
a
that.
problem.
Like, you can see that when you switch main classes, it definitely helps you as well, because you see the other perspectives. Like, when I was playing, I don't know, a spy for like 30 seasons, and when I switched to medic, before I was always, I got this med frag, easy game, he couldn't do anything at all, I completely outbrained him, and then when I played a medic, like, there is nothing I can do. Like, I know that you're not fooling me, but there is nothing I can do, I just die.
That feels bad, man. That's playing mid right there against a spy that's not getting shut down, I suppose. I mean, both the spies for these teams have been doing, like, you know, reasonably well in terms of, well, they're getting the sentry as well, and sometimes the meds. But looking at the spies now, on this game taking absolutely forever to start, I'm not sure actually who they're waiting on. Are you aware?
I don't
Still
know.
having a
I feel
look.
like this is just sponsored ego boosting right now and telling your entire competitive career to a player base that is forced to watch this.
You need a bio. That's what you need. You need a big bio. You need to like just shove it on your profile.
You mean like
or something.
Q&A that every like 12-year-old does these days and says, "This is my experience of playing against in competitive Team Fortress 2 for 2 days. Oh no, I'm leaving. Everyone give me kind of sad emojis because you have been getting so used to me playing in this community."
I mean, if those are the types of players you've been seeing, then yeah, fair enough. But nah, I mean, if you played for a while, then I don't know, might be worth. I'm sure there's enough sort of players have been playing this long for them to have like massive bios of what's been going on. But I mean, I guess the bios really just match history. But oh my god, I think we will actually be going live. Believe it or not.
Yeah, there was so much more to honestly talk about. If someone...
Oh well, that's a shame.
Someone wants to hear the entirety of Team Fortress 2 Highlander community story back to Season 3 when I started watching, DM me. But we are going into Gullywash right now, into the first mid-fight of the second map. That is Phoenix Sun, if you've just been turning in, against a demo getting headshot, against a demo getting a sentry gun down, but against Gimme opponent as they are going early in the frag advantage here.
Yeah, both teams gone very passive, but there's 3 down right now, 4 down, make that for a Gimme opponent, so Phoenix looking pretty strong right now, as they're going to be getting spammed out, and Lucian finding their head of Badger, and Zodi getting picked up as well, so not a very good initial mid, and Harky going to be running for his life. Ooh, takes it direct. And he goes down as well, Lucian finding that as well from, is that Big Door? No, it's from Choke, okay, so, oh no, Lucian goes down anyway, so, but they managed to get the med pick anyway. Gonna be sticks on the Shure and Cohen is 100%.
Nicely played, and now they have this full Uber advantage. Definitely looks way better for them. They can push in instantly, and they're only missing a soldier here that is vital. They have to watch out though, probably not achieving anything by just pushing in instantly. They could just wait for their players, so they don't really lose anything. Maybe pushing against a level 3 except of a level 2 sentry gun, but they have their soldier up right now, so I think that's definitely the better choice.
Yeah, TK going to be taking the brunt of the super, and some nice reflex actually coming from Val to deny the space from TK. No one else is in though, like, this is literally just a solo Uber onto TK pretty much, but the flank comes in right now, trying to do as much damage as they possibly can. Viking still sitting on this point now, manages to pick off Seagate, that's a pretty big pick actually, but even still, like, defense wasn't really in position properly, and going to be taking that as Phoenix and taking a very quick first round.
That's fantastic Uber push, post-factually seen, because they won. After all though, they were a bit slowish, and they even had a sticky trap above main where they almost kind of fell victim to, but after that the kind of blue team rotated a bit too quickly into their spawn, and that was just 4 times cap on a point that caps very, very fast. There is right now completely equal demo man right away into different chokes. Blank is trying to jump through their drop down. There is no pick going on right now, and he's jumping out. There's literally no pick. That's so passive. There comes the initiation from the red soldier. Now the pick's coming.
Yeah, I mean, Burr and Raja going down. So both assassins classes down for Gimme from him right now is trying to make some space on the point. Phoenix forward here, getting spammed by Mini and getting spammed by Viking on this heavy as all the hits come classic and trying to long range damage them from here. Harky goes down very low and does actually get picked up by Fluff with the backstab. So Cohen once again on a big ad, and yeah, Phoenix winning another mid fight.
they're rolling this, and the Pyro even killed himself with a detonator, which completely left his medic up, open to all this aggression coming in onto Haku. There's only a mini sentry, which they have to destroy right now as the soldier jumps in though from Big Door, gets the force out. If they get real fast cap time as that's the issue now, like Magister goes down, that was actually a bit more of an important pick, because every trade they make, every death they take, they'll be watching you, because they're not pushing into the second, completely denying them from doing anything. Bear goes down as well, so they're getting pushed out and not even setting a point on this second cap.
Yeah, Badger with some nice entry picks there into second to try and defend this. Really fall down right now. 4 Phoenixes, he's respawning his in just now. It's going to be about a small ad, as I said, for Haku. Going to be trying to defend the second point at the moment, as Badger's going to be trying to stare through the sight line, seeing what he can get. Mini built by Skyfox will be defending mid for the time being, and they're quite passive, to be fair, considering it's like roughly even. I'm surprised they're not kind of trying to contest this choke, but Big Door is still open, looking for these flank plays. Probably Assassin Class is going to try and get a pick to see what they can do here.
I think they are thinking that the Uber ad is a bit more than
possible,
yeah, that it actually is. Now they have to. They're giving all this cap time.
Yeah, Haku going down. Lucian with the body shot. Managing to find him, so it's going to be a big ad on Cohen as he actually does fall down to the low ground. As Casey trying to run for his life, manages to get out with the help of his NG Gunslinger on Gunslinger once again. Going to be spamming them out as much as he possibly can. Going to be on this high ground as well. See the soldier.
There were 5 players in the matter of 10 seconds walking over 4 stickies, and he didn't detonate them. He would have gotten so many frags all this time, but he didn't. There's still this soldier getting killed there with 1 HP in River. There's still Viking on top. They kind of consolidate this nicely though. They have this kind of advantage. They still have picks, but they will spawn in time, so they're probably just going to build this advantage up to full 100%.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're going to be looking against this lobby area and possibly looking to take River. I don't see any sticks coming out from Casey right now. Is he going to try and just make them as they are? Sentry's going to be kind of towards the point here at the back as well from Gunslinger. I mean, some nice spam coming in from Droy onto this balcony area, trying to push them back as far as he can. But Haku on 60%, needs to be careful they don't just get used into here, but I mean, the positioning from the defense side is pretty passive right now.
Lucian just got saved mega hard by his Pyro there, and they're still kind of waiting around, you know, for the pass eventually to come.
Oh god. It begins.
Amazing. So they kind of, like, they had 40% advantage. They could have pushed on the point and on the dot in the literal meaning of words, but they kind of didn't. Maybe they were once again thinking that the Uber ad was, the Uber percentage of the blue medic was a bit bigger than it was, but there was literally no clue of you thinking that. And your spy, you know, he can use his mouse and you hover over the medic and you can see the percentage. It's amazing, it's magic. Let's see how long this pause will be, but what do you see?
I mean, I'm seeing Naki still building right now with his combo, so just on this one side. I mean, there's not really any pressure under. I'm kind of looking for like maybe 1 or 2 players to come under. Zodek's kind of looking at Magister as Magister's just infinitely shooting him in this pause right now in the river. But yeah, I mean, one of the, like, I'm expecting like a Pyro or a Heavy possibly to sit under. I think Viking sort of did it before, but if his team kind of collapses around it, maybe he'll have a bit more success with it if he has a buff as well. And Gunslinger has his level 2 set up as well, so we're looking to defend with it, as Fluff is actually on fire, trying to escape with his life against this soldier. But I mean, if they take this under, and like they have a successful damage done from TK, really, I think this probably might be another second round for them.
Yeah, educational program right now. It is BBC Team Fortress 2. What he means with under push for everyone who is new to this, it is the river push. You push with basically your Pyro and usually your Heavy or some other kind of
healthy,
very healthy and hit scan class, essentially, to kill the Pyro that will probably wait for you on the last point and blast you off. But he can't blast off bullets. It doesn't work in this game mode. And in this game, essentially, anyway. Not
just Gullywash. Come on,
it's just exclusive to Gullywash Highlander right now.
Amazing.
Yeah, this is what you need to do. I don't actually know, like, it wasn't always the meta. I just realized I have no idea what the meta before was. I think you push Shudder. I hope not everyone dies to a sticky trap, or you push main. But it has been in, like, the meta for quite a long time now, pushing river.
I think it's just really the fact of, like, if you get your power onto the point, it's easy for them to air blast people off, and like if they're unubered, like they'll still get that cap time. But I mean, you know, going through shot and getting the high ground, like, well, I say high ground, it's not really like super high ground, it's just like some semi-high ground, but any high ground is decent, as Obi-Wan Kenobi will tell you. Gonna be sitting on the high ground trying to like shoot down onto the point is better. Which is probably why most people probably would like to do that. Like, it's usually for heavy, to be fair, to do that, rather than, like, sometimes if you don't want to go under, because if you go buffed through shutter or something, and just stare at everyone and like make them look at you, like rather than the people on the point, you can just do so much damage while you walk forwards, especially if the sniper goes down as well. So, I mean, if assassin classes go down in the back lines, it can be quite useful.
But why do Sixes player push from Shadow then sometimes?
Well, like I said, it's for the high ground, really. I mean, soldiers shooting down is always better, so if the soldiers do that anyway, or the demo, or whoever it is, I suppose. I'm not a Sixes player, though, Domaytoe, so I can't really dabble in that, unfortunately.
Unlucky. Well, I know from all the Sixes lobbies I played, and that taught me a lot about soaking up a lot of inner aggression into myself. We're still waiting for these players right now to do anything. Let's see. I don't actually have.
I think 90% of this Gullywash map is just going to be like the pre-game in this port at this rate.
I mean, I always like this because then I can rewatch it because it's about myself. No, we're just waiting currently here for yeah. I don't know. I don't know, I only have like a handful or maybe up to a dozen game of Gullywash I could relate to, and it's basically always the same story.
Do you have like statues of yourself in your house as well, and like paintings on the wall?
Nah.
Nah, you said self-portraits, dude. Of your spy or whatever. Have you got like any crazy unusuals on your spy or something?
I have the cheapest unusual there is in this game, only for my spy.
I don't have very many either. Like, it's
important to get your own style. That was always was important for me because,
indeed,
you know, back in the day you actually had to annoy the casters and everything by yourself, and you didn't get any casts for free like nowadays. These kids don't know how lucky they are. I had to annoy John for hours and hours and get casters myself, you know. That's why I wanted to have a very vintage look on my spy, so everybody would notice me on the camera.
The pay-to-cast system seems good. But still waiting on this pause. Actually, no, never mind. It's going to be unpausing as I say that. So pretty well timed there. As Cohen going to be sitting on 100%. Haku probably going to be building up to 100% as my HUD probably is broken, so I'll probably have to retry in a second. But I'm going to go through this to start with not really much progress coming through River though. Lobby sort of getting poked out. Lucian just managed to get Gunslinger, so that might actually be good if they decide to go in now, especially since the Sentry's in a more open position. Need to be looking for the Sentry pick. There's going to be pistol shots onto it from Broken, and Broken's probably doing the right thing here to try and kill this.
Yeah, potentially. I'm retrying. It is 1 second. Okay, now I'm back in the server. They are not pushing though. There is no Uber exchange coming in. They do get the frags onto the NG before. He does spawn in time though now. They push on this Pyro being down. They're kind of not getting anything. They get the Wrangled Sentry Gun down, but they lose their soldier for that. They can still play this high ground here. Cohen goes down though, so they might just back out to the second point. So he's annihilating these kids, Lucian, right now. He's still in River. He's getting chased. Come on, easy. Close range headshot. No, it doesn't work. But yeah. It is so decisive they can push out to the second point, but as you said before, in general it is a bit harder to push out from Gully because they have the spawns right there in Big Door.
Yeah, Bank being very lucky to survive those sticky traps being put from KC. Harkham KC is going to be sitting on the second point now, waiting for the rest of their team to regroup with them. Still 2 down on the side of Phoenix. They're waiting for these spawns to come through. Going to be kind of passive, and like, as I mentioned about the hiders, actually, Blank going to be sitting on this kind of interesting soldier spot that quite a few soldiers like to sit on. Skyfox setting up his mini as well on this midpoint. Harker actually has ads here. It's a very small ad on 30%, but they're going to be very tentative to walk in here. They're probably scared of Lucian in this one.
I'm not sure if they know about the Blank soldier hiding in plain sight. They are not pushing though, so they don't run the risk. Now he's getting undisciplined and spams and comes down, so though now they know. They're still not doing anything because they don't think that the advantage is this big once again. Like, it's still 25%. You needed to do these pinpoint pushes that we talked about earlier. And they are even close in this choke, you know. Like, before they couldn't do that because they were passive, but now they're even close. But it's probably just going to equal out and the snipers watch each other.
Casey going down though. Lucian finds that through that very small sightline in show. As Viking is going to be sitting there trying to watch to see if anyone's going to try and beat this, but he might go down to Lucian. No, it doesn't find his head just yet. As Hockey still sitting on 100% here. It's going to be a big stalemate. Val going to riff forwards, needs to be careful to get caught out. But oh my god, as I say that, Val gets distracted through choke, lets down Haku on medic, and you know, Fluff comes in with the big stab as the Uber comes in following that. And Gunslinger's level 2 is not going to be able to stop them here as the flank. Going to be trying to push forward actually from Gimme opponent, just trying just a few frags, but not really going to stop them for very long.
Yeah, really strong play. The main issue is they didn't get a lot of cap time because the scout also rushed in and they got a bit of ahead of themselves. Definitely the opener though from Fluff. They're still pressuring this right now from River as there's an amazing physics reflect from the Pyro, completely defying the loss of physics. They still have this kind of 20% advantage. They were a bit more decisive, they could have pushed it into last, but it definitely puts them onto the front foot once again because they're 1-0 up and they are on the brink of pushing last.
Yeah, I mean, Casey's got some traps set up on this main area right now. He'll be trying to look to defend against River, but I mean, at the moment, Phoenix can be pushing into this lobby area with you know, the big level 3 dispenser coming out from Skyfox to try and keep his team supplied and healthy. Going to be on the big ad as well for Cohen, actually on 40%. So if they go right away, they might be able to try and do a lot here.
Amazing gameplay by the blue spy, which is basically on the red side spawn. No, Bear, and oh yeah. I mean, he gets a stab onto Gunslinger, and Bear just completely, I don't know, revolves around. The other spawn as I get completely distracted as they are pushing in right now. There was a stab on the engineer, opening this off, but get completely soaked up.
Yeah, I mean, Viking, you know, on the heavy, just sort of sitting in this under area, which is what I wanted to see, and they just didn't really manage to pick him off. Like, what they're not doing is they're not going into River and then the, like, you know, the following area to try and clear out the people underneath, which is what they need to be doing. Otherwise, it's going to sit under there and deny the cap space. But as I say that, you know, Gimme opponent going to be walking out onto the second point, trying to see what space they can take. Badger's going to be staring down this big door sight line. What do you find the heavy? No, misses the shot for now, but there's going to be a bit of a sniper going on right now.
They could have been way braver through that big door as well. I mean, Haku had Uber, but they could have forced him or something and just put a lot of pressure onto him because now they are in this area.
Oh no, Haku dropping down, so to interrupt, but yeah, like big plays right now as they're just kind of throwing, honestly, Gimme opponent trying to get in here as the passive hold from Phoenix. But as I say that, Troy managed to find Cohen, so like, both mids can't stay alive.
Like, that's the issue, like, could have pressured what I said, like Victor before, then they were kind of caught up on the low ground where the enemy team just pushed through their choke. Then the soldier came in with a big play. I mean, definitely did do a lot because he just dropped the medic, but the issue is they still have this high ground even if their medic is down. So they're just going to make you bleed for it, and they got the medic in the back end, so they have this 20, or even more, as Haku is still down. Oh, he just died, I think, so he doesn't have an advantage, so never mind me.
That was a... Yeah, I mean, yeah, still pretty long to respawn if that's the case. I mean, it could be pretty decent Cohen and building here, as they managed to take second relatively easily without much threat, as the rest of Gimme opponents going to be sat back here on last, as Gunslinger is once again building percentage, but you know, a bit more of a quick push here into this river. Lucian actually going down that time to Badger, so no sniper for them right now. Trying to see if they can get any space in river and lobby, but they're going to be trying to possibly walk in here very soon with this Uber, and hopefully if they do actually do an under push, it might go a bit more favourably for them, since they don't really seem to be working against Viking holding under right now. Yeah,
they have this 45% ad now. They could just walk forward. It just shows how, I don't know, confident, brave or something they are, or just they're not, once again, aware of this Uber ad. I have no idea. They should though, so they just need to look a bit more forward. I mean, there's a strong setup from the defensive team because they have all these stickies above point, and then there's a heavy just behind this point. Magister goes down, so they will 100% not push right now. They do get the sniper frag, so they got the pick classes down. They have nothing to worry about, but there's probably nothing happening.
Yeah, like, this is so slow, isn't it? Like, as you said, they're not really counting Ubers. Hockey's going to be sitting 100% now. Lucian's trying to look for this shot. Hockey needs to be very careful here. Like, if I was him, I'd probably stand a bit further to the left or something. As Lucian trying to still find this. I mean, he's on cozy camper as well. And for that, he will punish the demo. So, no demo right now on the side of this defense, as you can call it. And no soldier either, so no explosive classes. Lucian going down, but it won't really matter as the sniper's not like too effective as you're pushing in here. TK, Ubers, getting used. Viking and the rest of his team going to be trying to defend his point as well. And the Ubers pretty successful to actually defend there, as the rest of the Phoenix won't actually find any space in here. So again, like, their pushes for last don't really seem to be working out that great.
Yeah, but that was not the denial of the kind of blue. I mean, they had like 80% more on the blue side, and they tried to push with their scout in main and almost left their pyro to die on the last point, but they kind of soaked it up. But in essence, inversely, they didn't get any frags forward, even though they had like 80% better Uber. Lucian goes down though, so that might actually be the opener to push into the second point, as they can completely annihilate them if they just go into low here. There is a soldier still in. Help your demo man. He's getting stepped down now inversely. Instead of supporting them, they're actually going to bleed out on the players and maybe even get wrapped behind from the soldier in the flank in essence.
Like, I don't know where is Gimme opponent right now? Like, this Droy has been here for so long, and the rest of his team is leaving him. Like, I don't know what's going on. And Badge as well walking in, and trying to distract him in the back lines, and the rest of his team is just so slow to walk in second. And for now, like, you know, they haven't even capped it, so speaking of which, like, they're going to be capping it just now, but, I mean, it's given Phoenix time to walk in here with the rest of the combo, so... Yeah, it's very slow play from both teams at the moment, as 100% on both mids seems to be an exchange. And as I say that, Zodiac actually with a bit of a semi-force and Badger fighting the head of Magister.
Yeah, they do get forced. What they could have done as well when they rotated through river, it's a really common strategy as well to just rotate through lower with kind of well, fast flank classes, because they're all committed to this top. Right now though, there's a great chance for the blue team to just completely push out, since they have 4 frags in their favor. They still have this full Uber, they just need to watch out while they push out that they don't get forced.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting sniper going on now. Lucian managed to find a spy that was behind him, managed to pick off Val actually, so we'll just get a body shot by Badger in the end, so going to be defending second successfully here. But I mean, you know, let's not forget that Phoenix are still one round up. They managed to park the bus reasonably well on mids. Gimme probably not really finding much space in here. Yeah, and Haku's sitting on 100%. So Gimme trying to look to get a really close Uber here, as Casey's just trying to spam them out.
The main issue is, I mean, they're still 1 round up as the Uber comes in, so I come to the start a bit later. I mean, they get the Star Fox down, and it gets completely denied though in their choke. What I don't like is when you kind of mess up a few of your Uber pushes, because it just gives the enemy team potential, and in the end it's probably going to be karma and you just get pushed upon, you know, like they lose Lucian here and they are like only 4 players up. They played initially and the entire round on their side of the map, and they still only had 1 round ahead, and then in the end it doesn't favor you anymore.
Yeah, and like, you know, it just depends on the plays really that happen and like the pacing overall, but maybe, wow, massive denial onto TK and some interesting air shot from Val actually hitting the plague and the scorch shot, whatever he's using. But Cohen getting body blocked and massive misplays coming out there as you know, Gimme Prone just be absolutely denying everything for Phoenix Sun as they managed to cap out the second. Like, everyone's so segregated as well on the side of Phoenix Sun.
The flank died a bit too fast, easy there. They could have escorted the medic out if they were alive. There's Bear on the last point there. Sep's gun dies though a bit off. They still have these flank classes on 8-second respawns, which is a great deal to push into this last. They just get easy positions here right now, really good before an Uber. They do get a bit forced there by the demo, but it should favor them since all their players came in for free through lower.
Yeah, I mean, Viking and Val doing a really good job of just getting on the point here. It's forcing the team to look at them. I mean, Viking goes down, Val's the only one left alive. The rest of their team isn't in. Like, they're all really far out as there's so many people going down, falling, which is very unfortunate. And Cohen going to be on 70%. Looking to kind of walk out here. They should probably try and get this. I mean, they have a lot of picks, and just watch out for Burr as he's actually possibly looking for a backup here. Yeah,
now we see the great potential that is we have really fast spawns through Big Door as they just rotate now. So there is completely a fight going on to the second point as the demo drops to the low ground, and it will be interesting if they want to block this or even push this last, but they don't feel comfortable doing so. There is just slowly eking this cap out, trading some picks. There come the Uber advantage push onto the medic. Haku goes down, double pipes down by the Iron Bomber, and they just completely get annihilated. There's only mini sentry behind them. Engineer, what is happening?
Viking's still alive though! Oh, I managed to get the mid with Delby Zodiac! Viking and Zodiac doing so much for their team right there. Viking managed to kite that into lower during that entire Uber, and doing a lot of work on the heavy class to help Zodiac with some clean up, some nice Skagan shots. So there'll be so many down right now for Phoenix Sun. As well, they do have a heavy and a level 3 still in this last area. Burr on this Cloak and Dagger, I think he'll be trying to see if he can get any sort of work done. But yeah, very well played to come back into that for Gimme opponent.
That defensive sentry gun also denied a great deal as Bear gets random piped down there in river while being decloaked. So and the main issue is the blue team had a kind of major split up in their spawn wave, so they couldn't completely instantly push together. The sniper also goes down to Fluff, also getting the domination. Kaiser or something gets killed by Lucian with a shot in the head, so that completely puts a nail in the coffin of that push.
Yeah, Lucian's in an interesting position right here. He's going to actually sit on top of these pipes. Probably not the best of sight lines, but managed to get KC either way. 100% on Haku. They're probably, like, you know, as you were saying before, I'm not even sure they even know about this, like, Uber ad. Like, they're just not moving. They're all just kind of, like, tippy-toeing around this river area. They decided to go in now that Casey's back in here, but it's probably a bit too late since coming up to 100%, you know, doing a good job of building with Broke in the scout. And, yeah, focusing heavy on the point. Heavy's alone on the point, going to be going down. Uber just come out in return though, and you know, wisely using the Uber to actually get into position on the point. But CK doing as much as he can, does get abandoned by his medic though, as they probably should have just tried to kill the heavy and the pyro underneath. Massive damage coming onto the point though, as Casey's left alive, Viking's still alive. He's going to clean up all the rest of the frags, and it's going to be an even, as it's 1-1 right now for both teams.
They all committed to that point. I mean, it was, in essence, not even that great of a play, but the medic just had way better Uber on the red side initially, and could flash everyone, but then the Uber was literally over. They didn't get any frags, and the other players just rotated out to river and into lower, and then inversely the defense chased after the kind of offending team there, which is never what you should do, because that doesn't favor you in any sort of way, as Zodiac instantly gets sniped down by Lucian there from Victor probably, and there's still this Wrangled Mini Sentry who also did an awful lot of work on the defense before, but yeah, he's the only frag to go down, but there we go, the retaliation frag onto the sniper.
Yeah, Gimme opponent feeling a lot braver now on this mid, as you know, they're trusting in Viking and his DM on the heavy right now, as Badger finding some damage, his headshots, as TK Blank and Lucian all down right now for Phoenix Sun, as Gimme opponent going to be trying to take mid. It's going to be even on both mids though, so both mids actually having a Uber, as they decide to rotate for Big Dog. Gimme opponent looking to go in here on Zodiac, and Val trying to lead this charge. Pyro did a good job of denying this though. CK's just trying to air blast, just trying to bait out the super as they're all kind of just sitting here. All the players, basically each team is just in this one big door area. But Burrs managed to try and get into what Pixie can find, as Gunslinger managed to find Fluff with the Rescue Ranger.
The actual U-turn of that fight, quite insane. Like, both teams were so, I mean, bravely and actually smartly hesitant, because nobody did use, but in the end it did favor the players with the better positioning on the splash damage classes, as they do get Bear, and there's still 3 picks in their favor. They're just walking forward here. They still have this mini sentry to deal with from the other side of the choke, and this soldier still in there. Yeah, they're probably just going to get blasted by a pyro and now repushed.
Oh, these Ubers are so weird though. I mean, Cohen uses very early, and like Magister goes down to Badger. KC finds the pyro as well, but I mean, Cohen manages to live by just backing out, just walking away. As Haku is still alive as well. Joy has constantly just been on the soldier in this choke area on this health back and manages to get in the cons, just forcing them out. So good distraction plays coming out from the flank for Gimme opponent, as the rest of the team will be walking in. Casey looking for some big sticks in the lower, manages to find the pipes and the sticks onto Cohen and to TK. So big plays again coming out from Casey, as another pause once again coming out.
Unlucky.
Amazing plays.
They almost rotated out safely there, but then they got completely flanked, what you said, from lower and actually been wrapped around, and now we see the inverse spot where when you don't make like your potential work on their side of the map, then at some point it's just going to flip completely U-turn based, not in your favor. So now the other team is making it work for them on their side. So that is kind of the issue that you see when you don't make your aggression work. They will. Yeah, I'm guessing it is 90 seconds in the future, so we could guess that is like psychological or anything, or people talking strategies, or you could just say, I mean, they paused in this game like 3 or 4 times. Maybe people just have really bad internet connection.
Yeah, I mean, Magic's on like decently high-ish ping. I think he's been the one that's kind of disconnecting, and I mean, he's at the bottom of the scoreboard as well from before, I think. I don't know if that's just from the disconnect or whether that's just like him scoring, but I know that he has been looking out a few times, and might have been some of the players as well, because I think at one point it was 7 or 6 players for one of the teams, which is a bit unfortunate, as yeah, it could be about, well, just over 8 minutes, I think, as the time is still ticking down on the pause, but just over 8 minutes left, and it's going to be 1-1. But yeah, I mean, pressure's on both teams now, because it's 1-1 to try and make something happen here. I think like the defense roster needs to. Well, I mean, Well, yeah, the defense needs to be a bit better, I think, from Phoenix, and it definitely needs to be focusing Viking because he seems to be going pretty well right now on heavy, and also Val. Like those two combo classes doing a lot more on this map compared to the upward map from before. So need to be kind of focusing them with the Ubers, which is a bit of a shame not to see that on that last, and it's probably one of the reasons why they lost that point before.
Magister is on, as you said, on the bottom of the scoreboard, but as a heavy, like, tell us the secrets. How do you get highest points on Gullywash?
This is where no, I'm not gonna give you my heavy tips for this because
where you throw sandwiches at your injured teammates spawn.
This could turn into a heavy demo review for Gullywash. not quite. But yeah, I mean, no, but it's good to see that Viking has been kind of stepping up. It's definitely more that you can do probably on this map than on Upward, I would say. I mean, in Upward, obviously, a lot of times you're just kind of acting as like a body block. And just like on third, you just sit on Balk pretty much, pretty easy. But then on this map, it's like you can kind of just go from under and just DM people like really close range. So it can be quite nice, especially if people don't focus you, because the last thing you want to not do on last is forget about the heavy, because all he's going to do is just waltz in on 450 and wipe your entire team that's on 60. So yeah,
that's what we've seen before. I mean, judging from my superior experience on heavy, having played, I think, 10 hours or something in my entire Team Fortress 2 competitive
truly
career,
inspirational.
I would say your role and your points, basically, if your name is like not a Russian heavy or Catman or something, like it's basically going up and down with the combos positioning.
You just, you gotta dabble in these politics, haven't you, Domaytoe, every single time. Wouldn't be Domaytoe without it, really.
I was holding back quite hard. I mean, there are a lot of Russian people in the server currently, I think. Oh, there's the unpause, unfortunately. There is Broken getting flamed down, I think Russian as well, probably, on the scout class. There are still 3 frags in their favor, so they have to waddle their way into the last point, and as it's looking right now, even with this Uber advantage, quite promising.
Yeah, I mean, Skirmish should be slowly building up a sentry as well. Badger getting a nice headshot to the TK there, but managing to live 4 now. As we're trying to set on this defense. I mean, I think they've got the heavy. Yeah, the heavy actually in the position Viking was in previously, so we're trying to gain this push. But there is going to be exchange right now. KC could be taking the majority of this. He's going to be trying to make some space. I don't see the rest of his team in though. It's basically just a solo KC, but where is the rest of the other team? Like, there's not really enough to make some space. But I mean, they could get chased out from the river, and that is so many people dead right now.
It's only wipe. They counted the Ubers correctly this time, that they had an advantage, so they pushed in. The main issue was they lost 4 players in their Uber push. They got completely flanked about from the high ground positions without getting any cap time whatsoever. There is now inversely 70% advantage onto Phoenix Sun as they are trying to burn their way forward. There's still Haku in this choke, almost got a bit caught out there, but come on, they must know about this Uber advantage. The main question is if they want to push off that.
Yeah, Karen has to know at the moment. I'm looking at Burr right now, though. It's actually behind the demo and the mid right now. Oh, he's going to get caught out, so yeah, he's going to turn around now. It's unfortunate for him, as he's trying to look into play. Actually playing with 8 right now. Seems to be Gimme opponent, as they're going to be trying to hold very close here, but they should know about the super advantage. Cohen just needs to use in, needs to be brave. Val's not particularly very close to the choke, because he's kind of trying to peek in now. Like, both teams just aren't confident enough to peek this. Like, this is the whole W, come on guys. So this is very boring to watch. This Viking is just like on the buff, trying to defend against. Like, literally, they're just giving away this whole advantage. Like, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, and it's not even that they hit the vital players down in that scenario, or maybe you just watch the enemies overextend into you. They have to get kind of Haku. I mean, they do get the kind of frags. He does get out though, so it will be interesting to see if the players that are still forward for the blue team actually get the frags. It doesn't look like it though. Zodiac was down as well. So you leave your scout now on the second point and go forward, but they can't because there's still this mini sentry behind it.
Oh my god.
Kills the scout that tried to get onto the sniper, and it's just a complete mess in the end.
I thought no one's killing this mini for some reason. It's like both people on the point just don't want to shoot it. It's still alive. They're leaving
Mini is lava.
Gunsling is mini going to be carrying to try and defend this mid, but that does go down eventually. But yeah, I think the one of DC'd actually was KC, the demo, so having the demo DC, probably not the best of classes if you were to choose one class to DC. So whether they'll be trying to find another demo or not, I'm not sure. Also, shout out to Blank on this spot, above Big Dog. I've not seen this before.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I only know from the... Oh wait, he is on the red side, never mind. So that could actually favor him as they are pushing through with a conch. Let's see if he can make something work. Probably not because it's a conch. Right idea though, wrong execution, and maybe more people to back you up, but very innovative strategy.
Yeah, Badger getting the shot to Magister, probably body blocking for his own sniper there. Viking gonna be trying to take a bit of some spam here as actually finds Lucian as well, so Badger doing pretty well in this choke point. As Cohen and Hockey both on 100%, gonna be trying to get some whips in here from Drory, trying to charge into them and trying to exchange Ubers as CK's gonna be receiving the brunt of this. TK in the back lines, maybe gonna get picked up by Bo as he comes in for this. But very messy right now. I mean, Gimme opponent is still not wanting to commit to this, interestingly, because they only just commit.
Yeah, they could have completely crushed them here if they committed earlier, but right now it actually favors the red team. They don't all get cleaned up while being low on HP and actually team up with their medic, as Badger is honey badging, you know, these plays out because he's just playing aggressive. He is just getting the frags and actually salvaging this for his team, but when they could have just followed up a bit more decisively through the choke, they could have completely inhibited that messy fight because Gimme opponent would have won it quite decisively, but right now there is still this mid fight going on with the meds having equal percentage.
What on earth is Cohen and TK doing? Like, they're just on big door, trying to like, they're just way separated from the rest of the team, just stupidly overextended. Somehow managing to get out there, Magister is trying to defend against the rest of Gimme opponent as they manages to win against the heavy with the help of Uber as well. Gibby's trying to make some space into second here. Harky goes down as well in the back lines, and Jory getting out on very low health. So, yeah, having no demo is definitely being a bit of a detriment for them at this point in time.
Mega clutch as well. I mean, yeah, demo definitely helps you with holding chokes in essence. You have to just split your over right now, it's all you can hope for. They couldn't push in, even though they got the frags, they didn't have their spawns in time, so that would have been indecisive, probably not favored them. So they just have to build this uber advantage, get their positions, even though it's only like 20-35%, not even that much. I can't count, doesn't matter. It's not that much, but Judex non-calculate. It's not that much, so they just have to push right on the dot when they get, or their spare. He's getting caught out. Nice.
Yeah, I guess Qual once again by the big rescue ranger from Skyfox. Actually dominating the spoiler, so very interesting. Maybe defend here, Badger. So we're looking through these sight lines into main. Teleport actually coming out from Skyfox. Right next to the shutter, trying to keep his team in the fight. As Uber comes out and Haku getting a headshot. It's a very nice shot from Lucian. As level 2 is still alive though, no one really focusing it. Does go down now as the scout manages to shoot with the scout gun. TK gonna be walking onto the point, and Bear with the cone stuff. Not gonna be defending enough as the rest of the team will walk on, so there's a 2-1, and they really need to find a demo if they want to fight this, I think.
No, that was really nice push, you know, they pushed on the point and on the dot, that is why they won. I mean, they didn't get the medic per se with the Uber and the sniper got him, and they didn't have a demo on the defense, but they definitely won this because they pushed on the dot. It just enables your sniper to have so much space. There is this mid-fight right now without a demo.
Yeah, no demo for the mid-fight, it'll be interesting. TK as, you know, taking advantage of the fact there's no other demo. Viking eating a lot of damage from TK there. Going to be going down very early and having no heavy here is going to be very detrimental indeed. Magister getting picked off as he's trying to make some space, and, you know, very passive right now from Gimme opponent as you'd expect. But even as I say that, Zodiac and Burr with a big headshot from the Ambassador. Ambassador is not dead yet, ladies and gentlemen, as he makes it on the play on the medic right there. As they somehow win that mid-fight without a demo and without a heavy early on. Like, I'm not even sure how that happened.
Yeah, amazing. And now the soldier's only up against a medic!
Oh no.
Oof, that's what you get for going for the star. They cannot congregate around that point, and it's quite risky to play without your demo because it's only 2 minutes. Now they have to hold them for 2 minutes, and they will take this onto the third map, so maybe that's why they throw so they can get the third map for the better viewership, but they're kind of trying to poke the best. I feel like a gunslinger is even getting a sentry gun up. They try to get a bit cheeky, but they have to plow forward here. There's only so much time.
Yeah, I mean, they're very pressured for time, as you're saying. Like, they're going to try and get to the point to even this out. It needs to be now, and but, you know, Phoenix going to be walking in here with Badger being buffed in this choke point. We'll try and spam them out as much as possible with a blank spamming as well on Soldier. Viking going to be kind of hiding in chokes, go for a drop down, possibly look for a bit of a play. I guess it's like probably all for the logs now. They might just even give up with the fact that they know that they might not even get a last point at this point, as Magister's going to be looking to take the suit moving forward very quickly.
I mean, I can forgive you for not playing sixes, but I cannot forgive you for not knowing TCM Bite and TCM, because they could have TCM'd this, but they were not feeling the vibes of getting the last cap into the only remaining seconds, like just really clutchly, as Haku also gets stabbed into lobby. So it's basically rip a GG. We are going to a third map. It's gonna be a best of 3, as all grand finals should be. We are getting the maximum playtime out, so it's gonna be interesting. Let's see if they can even push this last point to completely just watch their melee strategies.
Yeah, I wonder if they have any closure here by capping this off. Val going down very early, so no power for this defense. They've got 35 seconds, so let's see if they can try and make this in with entry picks onto the pyro and the sniper. Actually, Zodiac with interesting pick onto Lucian there, speaking of that sure area. Magis is going to be trying to lead this charge in though, as the rest of the team going to be coming forward. Cohen making sure the Uber's going to be going on to TK and Magister. It's heavy on his demo. Val with an interesting shot on the Scorch shot there, and Viking going to be getting picked up by the flank as well, going under. And Gunsling going to be trying to DM here. They might actually try to defend this. Troy with a nice bomb in, getting a lot of damage to the point. As CK's left alone to try and... Oh, CK's left alone! He gets a massive reflect and then caps it off anyway with 3 seconds left. So that's going to be a 3-1 closing out point. Gullywash, which will take it to the 3rd map of Asheville.
That is why CK is playing in a grand final. Obviously.
The Pyro class.
Yes, it's an amazing class. It's really difficult. Just imagine, like, it's even handicapping you if you're not, like, as rich as owning a mouse that has 2 buttons. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Single mouse, single button mouse. Just flaming in, but CK proving that you definitely need to saving the point, well, capping the point with his 2nd mouse button.
So let's
logs.
Yeah, okay. We'll look at the logs and we see it is Lucian on top with having 6 sniper frags, which is a bit more important to see here because Badger only had like 1 frag less, but he has 4 more sniper frags, so he definitely won this sniper versus sniper showdown here. Lucian focusing a bit more on the medic frags and see if this actually represented in the stats, as Haku has a bit lower of a heal percentage, meaning he was a bit more down, I feel like. Looking at the deaths, he has 4 more, so basically these 4 more that Lucian got onto him. And I mean, to be quite fair, the med heals are really damn low anyway. Both of them.
Well, yeah, the one thing I'm noticing with Haku and Cohen, looking at the stats, is that Haku's only got 8 Ubers and Cohen has got 18. 18 Ubers throughout that is definitely probably what won them that. Having the more Ubers, even if some of them were bad, it wouldn't have mattered. And, getting 3 drops onto Haku as well. Probably some of them to Lucian, since you got the 4 med frags, is not going to be that great for them. So, possibly needed to work on keeping Haku alive, make sure he's in a safe position, and keeping the check on Lucian, since he's been doing really well. But yeah, Lucian and Badger doing pretty well for both teams on this sniper class here. But yeah, as I said, Zodiac from before, looking to see him do really well, and he has proved it here. 27 to 20, doing 9,000 damage. And Blank and Troy, both soldiers actually top damaging for both their teams. So pretty good flank plays coming out from both teams. But ultimately, I think the Ubers and the just the coherent pushes from Phoenixon is what won them that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost a coin flip, essentially, because I feel like both teams weren't 100% clean and decisive in their last pushes, but in the end they kind of won. If you just leave the last round, because that wasn't as representative out of the equation, they basically won with this one more last push that worked.
Yeah.
And just looking, looking at the frags, it's really, really equal. It's only 8 more frags, and that doesn't translate to 2 more wins, like on the scoreboard. Essentially, it's only 1 more win, but so it's only 8 more frags, and there is not so much between the teams in terms of frags. So definitely did favor the team with the more Ubers, essentially. I mean, as you said, like, if your Ubers don't work, you just have a lot of Ubers that maybe don't work, but it's better than fewer Ubers that don't work.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's just statistics, isn't it, really? I mean, probability, some of them are, like, surely going to work out at some point. Like, someone is going to get in behind with it, someone's going to get big damage with it, which I think also, the soldier definitely was.
The blue demo, bottom fragging on Gullywash. With 7 frags.
Remember he DC'd though. Remember he DC'd.
When did he DC? After 5 minutes into the game? Or?
I'm not sure. I think it was like, I think it was like 22 minutes or something.
Okay, fair enough.
Kind of hard to tell with the demo stats really, so I'm probably not going to judge them, to be fair. But yeah,
we have
both
3 more players DCing right now.
Oh, they're changing
another one.
Server possibly?
Are they?
I doubt it. I mean, I think Viking was saying in chat before that Casey couldn't connect or something. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Or he's asking for where is connect, so we'll have to figure that one out, because I don't think they will just agree on 1-1 easy tie and we just split the prize money.
1-1 in grand finals. Just leave it at a draw. Draw grand finals. Best grand finals.
No, my favorite grand finals are like season 11 when you give default win in a grand final. That's my favorite. That's my type of
default win grand finals. Actually, yeah. To be fair, I guess it could be worse. Yeah, 1-1.
So I think a tie is quite good because no team loses then, and you don't have to play a third map of.
We're all winners.
Or all losers. Depends
all
on your.
Losers, yeah.
On your approach.
Pessimistic or optimistic. But I think we're going to be trying to get into a different server. We have to get a different Source TV connect, etc. So that may take us some time in terms of production and that sort of thing. So bear with us during that. But yeah, if you are joining us, this is the HLMixes Showdown match, sponsored by Manco Store, with Gimme opponent versus Phoenix Sun. It's currently 1-1. We've just done Upward, with Gimme opponent taking Upward, and we've just done Gullywash with Phoenix Sun taking that map, which should be going to Asheville as a third map to decide who will be winning the grand finals today. I mean, look at these teams right now then, Domaytoe. I mean, are you thinking, have they kind of evened out? Is it a very much more even match than it originally was? Like, who's your kind of favourites to win Asheville, considering the result of this 5CP, which is probably more like Asheville than Payload?
What I'm mainly thinking is who do I have on my friends list so I can ask for the new connect. So I was off with my thoughts. Did you? Yeah, connections in a literal sense. What do you say, Foppish? Okay. We're getting this sorted out by the big technician in the background. So
lovely juggle.
Buck, what did you say?
Predictions mainly. I mean, do you think
for Asheville?
Do you think Phoenix Sun will take this on Asheville as well, just since they won Gullywash?
I think the emotionally more stable team will take this map because you know how it is. Asheville is basically if you compare to Coalplant, that's why I always say Coalplant is basically the emotionally unstable brother to Asheville. It's just emo, It's insane, and it even has
this all doom and gloom.
It even has these weird kind of flank angles into the lobby. Like I don't even know how much that adds, like gameplay wise. I just like Asheville way more. So I think it actually, what I said before. I think it would have favored Phoenix Sun even after Upward a bit more right now as they are looking. They might actually be hyped up enough to claw this one back, even though the other team has better DM, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously gonna be a DM fest for a lot of it. Obviously about like coherent pushes as well, as I was saying. It's the same with the sort of last pushes into Gully, and there's respect that it's just gonna be that, but just repeated in Koth. And we're gonna be getting a new connect soon. Right now, I'm gonna be going into that. But yeah, I think Phoenix Sun definitely on the morale boost right now. So looking for them to sort of take that forwards, have that momentum, but also as we were saying before, don't get complacent. Stay focused and try and finish this one off, and hopefully they'll just have some sort of consistent strategies and pull through with maybe some more Ubrads if Haku keeps getting caught out.
I just have to watch out. It plays a bit more than maybe that was what your question was from before. Maybe it plays a bit more than Gullywash than Upward. It is a bit more forgiving on having not so clear positioning on your flank and your combo, basically the two main angles, and it's a bit more forgiving on that one, even though you have to watch out that you don't get wrapped behind. But the thing is, you can't get as fast behind. Usually you have a player watching, or if it doesn't work, then it's in prospect just seeing that you don't have you don't have any chance on any map, even if this is a bit of a disadvantage, it would be on every other map as well. So I think it favors them a bit more than things like maybe Product, because that would be a bit too open, not too open, but a bit too clustered. I think this is a bit bigger than Product.
I think for Asheville especially, it's always one of those things where it's like the superior flank usually ends up winning the game. Because if you have like a godlike scout or like a godlike soldier on a map like this, and they're not being properly taken care of, and they're just spawn camping and killing the demo repeatedly with some shots across the map, or managing to get onto the sniper, can usually be a bit of a pain for whatever team is having to deal with that. But Ubers can be quite effective on this map as well in terms of just holding W and having to hold forwards. It's a bit harder to hold forwards actually on this map compared to Coalplant, because on this sort of ramp area you haven't got the little balcony to actually stand on and have a bit more ground to play with. But yeah, it could be sort of interesting sightlines really.
Yeah. Also, the other thing you have to keep in mind, what you just said about the slope thingy on coal plant. You have this, you have a little, I don't know, like wooden plank that is a bit more forward, which means for the medic to hide out of the sniper sideline, he doesn't have to commit into the entire enemy team's connector. Like here, like you stand way more forward compared.
You got a bit more. Well, I mean, yeah, because on this one you kind of have to just all be in or all be out. You can't just really kind of use that as cover because you have to just sort of really commit there to the point. And
also, you don't have this little knack. You don't have like different kind of areas that change the level. You only have these barrels, and you can even be shot through the barrel crack.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's really hard to get out.
Stuff like that, really. It kind of just adds up, and there's little changes to the maps can sometimes catch people out, maybe if they're not really properly prepared for them. If they're used to playing coal plant, for example, compared to Asheville. But so we're waiting for the people to come in to the server. But yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if people will kind of try for like the under mids here. I mean, how often do you usually see under mids on like coal plant or Asheville? Really?
Never. No, not even in like official. Never. Like last time I played this map was actually not that long ago. I think that was Copenhagen Games, but I feel like that's not representative because that was basically I play medic. I play against a sniper that isn't called because everybody's screaming at 5,000 decibel through the entire LAN area, and then I get screamed on for dying. But essentially what you have to watch out for is, I don't think necessarily that much under pushes, even though I don't know how much meta these are these days. But you have to watch out that you don't get completely wrapped behind by the flank that sometimes gets supported by the combo.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you'll have like a, maybe you'll have a heavy Redeemer that just walks over the point, or like a pyro on the power jack might try and just run in and catch people out by just going behind the boxes and catching people under. So it's something to sort of look out for, and you have to remember that the point is on top of the point and not below it. So ultimately the people who actually get the time on the point will matter.
Not like Reservoir, or no, how is this map? Like, I don't know if people are old enough to recall this map, but this one where we had the Test Cup in Season 9 or something, that was basically looking like this map here, the midpoint, but you could cap from the low ground and from the point itself. So
God, that must have been weird.
That were amazing. That were amazing rounds of like 20 minutes because you had like 10 minutes easily overtime because someone could just stand below the point and nobody could do anything about it.
That's great. Just have a spy just constantly decloaking on like the above bit and the below bit, like wherever the team isn't.
Exactly.
That's great. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we don't have to deal with that.
And the most funny thing even is to have a bit more Highlander trivia. The Season 9 Highlander Prem Grand Finals were played on that map as a decider. That was amazing to have your season starting off, season ending up not anticlimactic in any way.
Yeah, just with like the longest golden cap times you've ever seen in your entire life. I'm sure that would have been great to see.
I think this will be the longest grand final I've ever casted, to be quite fair.
Yeah, this is actually getting longer than the Prem Grand Finals with Chanda. It's kind of getting ridiculous. It's because of the amount of pauses and the amount of disconnects, because Magistro disconnected, I think he's back in it now, on like 100 ping, and Burr is also on 100 ping. So we've got some high ping action for everyone if you're interested in seeing that. I don't know if that impacts the POVs or not,
but they're Russian. Isn't that normal to have high pings? Like, I don't know what they're trying to achieve.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, if they're used to it, then yeah. But maybe it's, I don't know. There's like good high ping and there's bad high ping. It's an intricate talking about pings.
Maybe. So yeah, I don't know the strategies of these teams, but I think it favors Phoenix Sun more when it goes into we keep our combo alive and don't die, and the other team just gets favored a bit more. If they actually can keep Haku alive, though, inversely, because I feel like he has been dying quite loose and easy on Gullywash. And let's look at the flanks. I feel like the flanks are bit equal, even though I have seen a bit more from Blank through the entire game compared to Droy. We can draw direct comparisons because we have seen these players. Like, I feel like I've known them my entire life so far because we've just seen them play. Yeah. For like years.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I'm mainly looking for Zodiac to do more on this map. I think he was doing pretty good on Gullywash, so if we could keep that going for Gimme opponent on this map as well, and maybe take the brunt of the Ubers as well. I've not really seen scout Ubers. Like, I've seen heavy Ubers and stuff like that quite often, which doesn't really chase kills that well, but it will if it's like distraction for your flank, which it sometimes has been for both teams. But yeah, scout Ubers and demo Ubers definitely gonna be big here. And you know, obviously looking for these other classes like the Energy Pyro and Heavy to deny the roof areas. And you have to see how the sniper 1v1 goes as well, because both snipers have been reasonably equal. But yeah, see if they can sort of stay buffed and stay alive and watch out for the spy.
Or begin at some point in this area.
Or yeah, actually start playing the game.
What amazing. They're still missing a 9th player on the blue team side though, so I'm pretty sure Phoenix Sun will win because they are not occupying my time more than it should be. They are, yeah, well, what you just said, they are equal, so we have done them complete justice. What is your favorite story on Asheville?
To be fair, I don't really play this map this much. I mean, it's not even in pugs really either. Because it's coal plant. It's always coal plant now. It's never Asheville. Asheville's more of these like UGC maps really. It's the same with like Swift 4 and that sort of thing. So I don't really see it as much, I suppose. But in terms of Asheville, it's just like it's always like those players that sort of manage to sneak under and then manage to get behind, and then or like you get like spawn camping people. Or spawn campers will be cool, but then people will just walk out the door and then completely forget they're there, and then people will just end up dying to them. Well, that sometimes happens, so that's pretty funny to watch sometimes.
It definitely came from NA Platinum. I remember when I even watched it, like I watched, when did I actively watch it? Season 11 to season 14, UGC Platinum, amazing. I can name you every spy there, but it was also interesting to see because they kind of got their strategies earlier than EU, obviously, but EU just completely changed up the strategy. So you had a split in how Americans play and how Europeans play, even though that's just a filler, because that is literally what is happening on every other map, as they are baiting me once again. No, it's going live. Amazing! We are going into the last fight, into the last map of this final. Everyone who just jumped in. Phoenix Sun against Stigan's team. Gimme everything opponent, and we are just watching the demos being quite equal on the mid, but taking different sides.
Yeah, TK opting for the more roof side. KC going for the balcony is early pick onto Blank actually coming out. So no flank right now for Phoenix Sun as they're going to be trying to walk in here. They're just kind of very passive on this ramp side. He's trying to walk on the point. KC is alone, literally alone on this point, just spamming as much as he can. As the rest of the team isn't really confident walking. Like, both of these teams are kind of lacking the confidence to walk forwards. Vikings are leading the charge now, though. The rest of the team not really helping him, though. He's been losing out the 1v1. Kind of getting baited by his own teams. He needs to be careful of that, as both there's now on 100% looking for these Ubers to exchange very soon.
And now they commit to the point, you know, like now our heavy is dead, now we can walk forward. There is an equal Uber flashing on the third run now, and Val is actually chasing them out, gets the kind of Magister because they didn't have enough Uber to flash the heavy anymore who was committed in, and now they're actually going to recap this without, and that's the important part, without losing too much players. Okay, Badger goes down, that's weakening once again, but they didn't lose anything for getting too overly aggressive, so that's already important to see for the prospect of this map.
Yeah, Joy going for a bit of a bomb there, not going to find much, does actually get picked up in the end, on too low health as he retreated back. Both meds on relatively even Uber, Badger's still down, going to be coming up just now, so you know, probably needs to work off this sniper pick that they got from earlier. Very slow to walk in here, as Phoenix are trying to get on the point just about now. Ubers haven't just got Uber coming up very soon. I can take a lot of the spam, there's like really anyone trying to defend this. It's Casey trying to spam them off, and the big bomb in comes in from Blank, getting semi-denied by Val as he gets pushed off.
Haku.
But never mind, he gets Haku, so yeah, just ignore everything I said.
There comes a counter jump from the demo, dies. Yeah, they were so indecisive. I was about to say, okay, the blue team makes their decision for them now because the soldier jumps in. Clearly they will use, but well, he gets 2 rockets on the medic and he dies, so that was kind of the issue. They should have just been braver, and that's what punishes you. If you're just indecisive, you get completely munched. They still have this 30-second kind of advantage. They do have 70 to 60% disad though on the Uber, so they're kind of lingering around a bit too much again.
Yeah, I'm going to be up on this balcony area now. Basher going to be sort of aiming onto the point, seeing what I can find. But the Fluff and Blank on the flank for Phoenix are going to be trying to distract on this other side of the map during their push onto balcony. But both teams are very passive right now. Val jumping onto the roof, interestingly enough, with the use of the detonator. Casey getting a lot of damage taken as well. Skyfox into Mini going to be very annoying to deal with. But yeah, just very confident on the point. Haku now just about coming up to 100%, but it seems like both teams want to play around Uber rather than non-Uber, which I suppose is fair enough. You'd rather be safe, but when it comes to point time, they can't really afford to do that.
That's interesting, considering how they play the Uber. There comes a flash battle right now, as I think it should favor the red team, as they do flash a lot as well, but they do have superior positions. Afterwards is a heavy, does get spotted, he doesn't. They do get frags though, there we go. Fluff equals that one out, Viking dies, and they're just fighting towards this point. They got decent amount of damage on the blue team and could actually favor them if they just make them bleed for this point. Yes, they're not decisive. There comes the scout rushing in onto the demo, gets double piped down. Broken, more like destroyed, and they are still battling for this. They have to watch out for Badger, who gets killed. But they're looking in shape here.
Yeah, drawing for a bit of a bomb there, getting denied by the mini, so you know, Scout's doing a good job of keeping these minis up on the roof very consistently, as the point is still on the side of red. TK trying to put out as much damage. Viking walking in though, just be careful. Magister will be trying to fight that and just fluff both spies simultaneously getting each team's heavies. So that's really interesting to watch as Haku is now left alone, and Blank's going to be on the chase here, even through the mini. Can he stay alive? Manages to stay in. Blank's still alive. Haku going to be trying to go for an Uber Sword, but he does go down. So Blank jumping over the top of the mini sentry will get the med there. So Cohen will be very thankful for that as he sits at 100%. And never mind, because Burst stabs him anyway. What is going on with these meds?
Yeah, they're just dying. And before this, well, like the heavy fights are quite important here because they play like though passively around these Ubers. So it was important to see what heavy actually reigns superior in the DM fight. But who wins the heavy battle? It is both spies. That was
yeah.
but they're still fighting towards this. They have 30% advantage onto Hako. Bear goes down, and there's Sniper on a 6k. They are kind of losing their players too fast and easy though. So that should be an instant and fast recap for the blue team.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to now. Majesty's the only one left really trying to defend that. CK already could have helped Magister there, trying to airblast him off the point, but there'll be a lot of players walking onto it. I mean, Casey earlier just managed to spam over the top of the roof and doing so much damage in the dispenser. Probably needs to like replicate that more, because that's definitely going to help out his team. They'll be peeking from Showdown now though. Lucian decided to go behind the barrels as Berg getting caught out in the backlines. Manages a nice headshot on some fluff there actually. So a few flank players for Gimme opponent in the backlines, but get picked off. You know. Gimme opponent actually still managed to hold this point.
Fantastic spam Gene lobby. Magister goes down inversely though, and Blank as well. They're losing their kind of pushing classes, which basically means, I mean, they're not the fastest, but they can deny, and especially deny this Uber coming in finally on the point, and they're probably just going to clean up this teleporter. As Magister though defends it with his life, but they got the met with that, and they are still behind in like half a minute to 40 seconds in the time stakes, but they definitely had big play right there.
Yeah, managed to walk in, hold W on Cohen as he didn't have Uber to respond, and Haku now going to be sitting on 20 to 25% ad. Magister going to catch out there on the supply, so turning around a bit more. Gunslinger has his mini set up so next to the show. Going to be denying Blank and Broken on the flank for a bit, but they're giving him a lot of space to just walk at this point now, as Phoenix should be surging forward to Magister getting a lot of damage onto the heavy. They're trying to heavy MGE, Magister still on a decent amount of health. Val he'll probably get caught out by him as well, doing a lot of work for his team there, and so many going down. So yeah, massive combo push coming out from Phoenix.
Yeah, Gimme opponent were more like, I give all the space, you know? Like, they just backed out passively into their lower right. I don't know what they did there. I mean, they had slight Uber this ad, but essentially you just need to protect your medic or spot him out. And now they even get forced on their balcony. They use, I don't know, okay, because it's only 5 seconds, very smart. There's still this disguised spy, and now comes the flank. They're probably, oh no, they're going to clap.
He managed to do that. I think he actually just threw with that. He was so casually and comfortable on the point, and he forgot to flash his heavy. And his heavy was taking so much damage as they were all just walking forward and managed to get it off. So yeah, somehow a force onto Haku, and Haku being left alone means they get the point. So I mean, if they end up losing this round now, I'm going to be in genuine shock.
I mean, they kind of deserve to lose this, to be quite fair after that play, and they just jump around on the point, because, okay, it's only 5 seconds, fair play, but you actually have to flash your players. I mean, they lose their players early on, Fluff goes down, and they lose their demo as well, they lose everyone. And there's only so much they can do as they are against superior positions with more health on the kind of defensive route, so they're probably just going to get collapsed.
Oh my god.
And that ended up mattering.
I can't even believe that just happened. Like, they had so much better positioning just on the point, and they had an Uber that was way better because Haku used earlier, and they still lost the round. So, yeah, that was a bit of a mess up from Cohen there, possibly. So, I have to see what the combos are like for the combos going to this next round. Both teams taking the same route though, as most of the team for Gimme opponent can be going onto this balcony. Lucian getting picked off by Badger though. very early on, as Viking going to be denying the soldiers as much as possibly can. And yeah, nothing really happening much on the mids, though. Both teams, again, very passive, not wanting to force.
Blank couldn't even cross the strand on this Skybox thingy. Skyfox dies. They're kind of exchanging frags here right now. Should definitely favor the blue team as they got more frags. Quoen dies though through a roof.
And then Fluff managing to return the favour with some stabs on the point. So yeah, very interesting detonate jump from Val there. Managing to pick off the mid. Like the heavy just didn't expect a Pyro to be there at all. But Blank going in for a brave bomb, but runs into the mini on the balcony once again. So not able to surf over it this time, unfortunately, as Lucian gets out on very low health. So 100% for Haku right now. He's sitting very comfortably sort of with his team. And all badges are finding broken as well, actually dominating the scout. So really interesting domination going on in this game here as the time's ticking down. Beginning as Burr gets caught out. And Zodiac peeks Lucian for half a second and finishes off by that frag. So no stun for them right now.
Yeah, he got mega damage. Now they have to watch out here. I feel like they are playing the opposite routes. Could favor the blue team a bit more. As broken, they all died. They're just kind of body shots, and they still don't even have Uber. They're probably going to get caught out once again in the same position as the Pyro safely denies that aggression going onto his medic, though, as only Magister falls victim to that one. And there's still Val in. They're trying to do anything, and they get forced by a scout from behind, and probably not going to get anything from that. I mean, they got the scout.
He actually gets, no way, Zodiac actually gets out there as well. Blank trying to go in for a bit of a return frag, but he's going to get picked up in return. That was an absolute monster play from Zodiac there. Like, literally no one turning around to shoot him, while Cohen was just, like, holding on to 100%, and he managed to get the force. So hopefully the rest of his team are going to be coming onto the point, which they are, but I mean, big amount of damage right now. I mean, they still hold the point, so Vikings is going to be sitting on these boxes denying the point, which is real well played by him. The Zodiac's trying to get some space. Casey, Android spamming out equally on these explosive classes, and they're just not getting any space from this ramp, and Haku again, another advantage.
In that kind of battle phase, you don't even lose anything. I don't know if they played so much to keep the point. If you have your vital players just survive, then it doesn't matter even if you lose the point, because you just get so many frags with the spawns favoring you. But there comes kind of a uber force right now. Let's see if Cohen uses on the Pyro once again. Amazing. He wasn't even in any danger, but yeah.
I mean, Haku might get caught out here, to be fair, so, I mean, that was, yeah, Haku should have backed out a bit earlier, so that's probably on Haku rather than it was on Cohen there, but yeah, Cohen probably didn't need to use, but yeah, going to be no bush going out onto Gimme opponent right now, but they still control the point. Casey's kind of alone here trying to defend this, but I mean, Vaku's going to be sitting on the, Viking going to be sitting on the dispenser. Burr getting the stab onto the Pyro as Cohen is left on low health, and Casey going for a bit of a bombing into Magister as his rev, probably not the wisest decision. But,
I mean, like how the left balcony is completely abandoned by anyone. That's why the blue team is definitely having the upper hand here this entire game, especially this round, because they're just actually playing their balcony while the other side is completely unoccupied by anyone. Haku goes down, don't do the body shot, and that might be finally the initiator, as they just have to keep their meta alive. Cohen, just watch out for him. Lucian goes down. There comes a kind of spam just to distract him. There comes Kaiser from the other side, does force out the Uber. They do get the frags. Just quickly flash your players, they don't die, you cap and you back out into actually proper positions.
Yeah, I mean, Current actually managed to sort of keep players alive here a bit more, but I mean, I feel like he's using it like just really when he shouldn't be. Like, there's not really, you know, if he can keep the Uber, like, and as long as his players are relatively safe, he probably shouldn't need to use. And it's going to be harder for them to try and get points then. But yeah, they've got to try and hold this now for 3 minutes. It's going to be very hard on the team, especially with two people being down, Fluff and Lucian, so both pick classes being down right now for Phoenix Sun, as they're going to be walking onto the balcony, Gimme opponent with only about a 10% disad.
They just get pressured from this balcony.
But yeah, Casey with the big bomb onto the roof, and Val as well, and Zodiac all bomb onto the roof. There's no denial on this roof. Like, TK left alone here with no Pyro or Heavy to help him, and they're just going to walk on the point for free.
Story of this entire game, now they have only 6 players to push against Haku dies though, so be quick with Cohen, have your heals forward, you can't give this cap time up, you can keep them like capped so they have bad respawns and immediately push. That's exactly what they're doing. They kind of even denied them from capping this, so who knows if that favors them, because now they're instantly going to recap. Not even that, as they use the Uber. I'm not 100% sure. I would have just left them cap because you can just clean the players up, have better positioning, and medics alone on the point.
Current is standing still on the point like, where is my team? Gonna be trying to defend this engineer and demo trying to get on it, but you know, Val with some sort of reflex gonna be defending this. So yeah, Gimme opponent, like, you know, massive like shift in dynamic of the game right now, because They weren't looking too great on 5's TP, but I don't know, maybe Kopf was just what they needed to get back into this.
The only redeeming factor how they could have salvaged that one, what I just said, like they should have given up these 5 seconds on point, so when they kept, they actually have an Uber to like kill the Pyro, kill anything that goes on the point. But it was in the end kind of clutch because they had like 2.5 minutes deficit to start this off anyway. So they are fighting towards this fight now. It's a Pyro, he's the most important class in the game. He goes down. Badger though goes down as well. Lucian dies. It's insanely easy to do the kill feed. Bear goes down there, gets gunned down. They're still fighting towards this point. There is definitely a favorable position right now for the red team though, as they do get the superior frags.
Yeah, I mean, Casey was just alone on the point, and the rest of his team was completely baiting him as he was just really far forward trying to deny them. And he denied them for a bit, to be fair, but like no one else really came in, and you know, both meds are going to be actually sitting alive at the moment. Fluff trying to come in does get some decent revolver shots onto Haku. Haku going to be left on 70 health. Gimme next to his heavy though, as bomb comes in from Joy onto Lucian, and in the meantime, Corin actually getting shot from Badger. That's a very clutch sightline, like a few pixels actually across the point. So massive play for him to actually get that mid drop, and Haku going to be using in return to clean up on these frags.
Yeah, they do get the force though, not the worst thing in the world. Now they can fight towards this point here, because even if you don't deny this cap, you still probably kill them after they get this cap, and they have bad response then. They're still fighting towards this. It takes them some time. They're not leading any players down. What we said before, I think the switch up of the positions right now definitely works, because what you just said, now it's completely switched. Now they're on their balcony and the other team is on their low ground, and let's see who that favors, as Cone went down unfortunately there to the sniper, but we have to see this kind of switch in positions, who that favors in the end.
Yeah, like no one is like contesting Badger at all. It's just free to snipe from the balcony. We're doing so much damage across the other enemy balcony through the small sideline, and Zodiac winning the scout going as well. It's going to be helping that as he holds the flank. 4 down right now for Phoenix Sun. Like, I think the morale is definitely on the opposite end right now, because yeah, you can tell just by the way they're playing, like very passively, kind of scared to go in. Haku 100%. They haven't really got a plan either. They're not like trying to force Haku or anything like that. He's just able to just sit with his mini, with his heavy, with his pyro. And yeah, it's going to be ticking down the time, and they need to think of an answer for this.
Yeah, they're just allowing him so much space. He just gets all these frags. Finally dies to Lucian for the body shot. They are still not in the favor. Time doesn't favor them, the picks do though. And if they force Psycho, who still wants to take this advantage with 4 players down. Let's see who that favors, as they do have the superior Uber, but not on classes that actually can get aggressive. Valvo gets the reflect kill onto Cohen somewhere and salvage that first two, so they can instantly repush this. Only 3 players up alive. They just need to watch out for Badger, who's getting aggressive top left, and they're probably just going to look in better shape now.
I don't know how, but like even with the worst Koth Uber I've probably ever seen, they somehow managed to keep the point. Like they literally just sat on the point Ubered, not walking into them to try and get any of the players that were un-Ubered, and then they just kind of badly kite it and then somehow win because Magita comes from underneath and then Blank comes in with a bomb. It's like so weird to see, but yeah, both men's gonna be on about 40% and slowly building right now as the point is in favour of Phoenix Sun. Whether they can bring this round back and try and get themselves into this game, since it is 2-0, we'll have to wait and see, because you know, there's a lot more pressure on Phoenix Sun now.
Yeah, and the classes are quite equal, especially if you open the scoreboard, like on the points and everything. If you compare the teams, the main difference I see is like just within this positioning, because right now when they switched up their role to the left side of the point, for Corn sides that is on their balcony, it just favored them so heavily. Both Ubers are kind of equal, but they have to watch out that they don't push too decisively into this Uber disad. No, they don't. They back out just in time as they lose their demo on their side of the map. I don't know why they go onto this low ground.
Yeah, like, I don't know, they know Badger's playing on his balcony, he's doing well for me. I don't know why they don't just rotate, but I mean, as I say that, there's a good exchange on the point. Valdo's doing a decent job of trying to airblast him back off the point, and Cohen getting separated from CK, they have to try and rotate around. There's a lack of communication going on here as to where they actually want to back out and where they want to go. Blank trying to bomb him behind, trying to distract the rest of the team, Zodiac could be trying to chase him. But yeah, Badger is just like absolutely carrying right now, because he just never seems to be able to die, and still popping up heads.
Yeah, in this kind of downtime where the Ubers are not in play, you have to do something, otherwise you just give the enemy team like easy 43 seconds or something, and they tried to do something with their flank, but that was tried on the sniper again or something, and they still just died for it, and they didn't even get the sniper, so in the end it's just a sniper game once again. I don't want to, I don't know, spoil this too early, but it is right now probably only the Wrangled Mini Sentry that is doing more.
Just walking onto the point, just oh my god, it's in the bush, like no one is denying him, and he just peeks Cohen as he sits in the corner. Like that's really bad play, and Like they should be punishing this, but like Badger's got so much confidence now because he's got the point, and you know he's not getting denied at all. So you know everyone's gonna be denied. But as I say that, actually, Haku and some other players going down as well. I'm not really sure where that was, but Gibby sitting on the point right now. Cohen and TK on his demo. As actually managed to possibly cut this, but Gunsling going behind a big empty plays. Oh no, didn't get it.
And Badger is watching as well. I'm just looking at the sky right now. They need to get the soldier up top left. Yeah, they do. And they're looking in good shape. If they don't, all their players and no Viking dies. They cleaned it up nicely. They just have to watch out right now. Don't lose your sniper once again to Badger. Like, it's just enabling him to have this free sideline. And he's getting protected on top left. There's not even so much the flank can do right now. So they really have to watch out. They still have a slight Uber at. The main problem right now, what they have to watch is don't lose players, don't give up too much cap time, and actually make the Uber like use when you need to.
Yeah, Fluff getting a nice demo frag actually there, so gonna be 4 down right now, fucking me opponent. Badger actually on his own, gonna be rotating to kill Broken. We're going to this ramp side as TK gonna be trying to deny with some decent pipes. But you know, losing a few on this, you know, when you have the point, not really very good. I mean, you have longer respawns, don't forget that, when you have the point. So, Lucian finding the...
If they don't lose a combo member, and...
oh god, TK.
If they don't lose a combo member, that definitely favors them a lot. We have to see though, as they still have this full Uber at block this point, like don't give up all this cap time right now. They even dropped their scout. Why do you do this? It's still probably going to favor them, but you're playing a bit too much with my nerfs and this fire right now. And we've seen how this worked out in the first round.
Ooh, but with the stab on Dindy though, might try and deny this as the rest of the team possibly making some space. Badger taking some nice posts from TK and actually managed to take a round there after all that. But I mean, I still think they're playing on the wrong side here. They're playing on the balcony into favour of Badger. They need to be constantly rotating. Maybe they just rotated and like seeing what they come in response because they kept getting bombed on the roof, so maybe they're afraid of that.
But if you compare it, like it's not the optimal, but there's only like two sides they can choose from, and yeah. This time they actually won it despite Badger being there. If they just commit more to this position, what they're doing smartly play, I would say. But yeah, as you said, they just need to control the sniper, and they look in better shape. But I'm questioning if you have to drag this game on board, so you better back up the right strategies quicker.
Blank though with a nice bomb onto Badger, so you know switching his focus onto Badger, which is good. As TK trying to make some space near point now, as Badger trying to fight a heavy and an NG, not really winning a 2v1 there. As makes some space, and TK needs to be aware of that though, and you know Casey walking forwards here, doing a lot of spam onto the sniper, onto the demo, and just making a lot of space really, so pretty easy to push. Val trying to jump in onto TK, gonna get picked off, but actually gets a force there, coming again using like a really questionable position, and Haku not even 100% to even use here, so, and also a return as well, getting the pick onto Cohen, so yeah, and the Cohen not having the greatest of times right now.
Nah, he's just getting focused. If like they even lost their point in front of their eyes and didn't get it capped, which wouldn't be so bad initially, but then they lost Cohen, which was first thing that was really bad, and now they lose like 4 players pushing this forward, which is also really bad because they're not going to finish up this cap. Why does this what are these medics doing?
I think they just see players and then they have Uber and they're just like, nah, I'm just gonna, you know, just want to Uber into these players. Like they're not really using the Ubers to get med frags, they're just using it for frags.
I can understand this if that would be me, because like I have my settings so low turned on the laptop that you can't like see if it's red or blue, you know, when there's shadowy parts. Who that actually is on what class. It makes it even more confusing when you're on Spy. But he's healing the Spy right now. What? He's just getting completely fooled by Fluff. Let's see if he can make something. Come on. No, walk towards the medic. He is believing your disguise. Do something. He's shooting him. Okay, never mind me. I mean, they do get all this round right now. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I think the demo and the scout managed to bomb with us up at the roof. CK managed to try and force them out, again a bit overzealous in his positioning here, but gonna be backing out to try and defend this. Haku does a big out though right now. Oh, never mind, because Lucian shoots him in the head and he goes down, so gonna be out for Cohen now and gonna be trying to defend this point.
Let's say we just say these things that shouldn't happen and they will happen.
It's Caster's curse, man. I swear to God.
I hope Cohen doesn't die here.
I hope Cohen becomes
there we go, it's 2 shots.
Oh no, Zodiac finds him in the back. It's always these flank classes of the sniper every single time.
To be quite fair, I caught that as he just got the first meat shot, but it doesn't matter. There comes a heavy right now, flanking from behind. I hope Haku doesn't die in the next like 10 seconds or something. We have to see the demo blows himself up. There comes the insane suicide wave. They still don't even have the point kept up. They counted in that they would kept this quicker than it actually was. They do have instant spawns right now though, but didn't get any frags, so there is right now 50% advantage for Haku. They didn't get any frags and they just have to dry push that against the wall that is Badger on top left.
Yeah, I'm gonna be feeling like trying to attack into Badger and the mini as well, and this Uber rad that's slowly building. Got the demo on the point, very aggressive, and Zodiac on the sort of top roof. I mean, again, I think they need to probably rotate and switch things up, or like, you know, have more of the team on the other side, like have 3 players there rather than just like the one. But massive bomb in actually from Blank, managing to fight. Oh my god, he denies the counter bomb as well. So I managed to pick up the soldier and the sniper in the back line. It's a massive place from the flank from Phoenix, and at this point in time, as the combo is actually underneath from Gimme opponent, and they're gonna catch out Lucian. Lucian actually managed to get away, as he doesn't. I don't think it'll be enough to afterburn him, but yeah, Magister broken, gonna be getting picked up on the point, and massive reflect from CK kills KC as they try to push in. Valk taking a big pipe as well, but I mean, there's too many going down right now, and that will be the point I think for Gimme opponent.
And they even get Cohen with that. They got so many frags that were still separated out, and then the demo still committed to the medic frag and even got that one. So. In the end, it just made it bad for worse for them, and Lucian dies now. They're 1 minute behind. They do have Uber this ad, and there is right now the time to make big plays, to be the hero. There is already a hero. He's killing the mini sentry. And they're just fighting towards this point. There come a little stutter, and we just ignore that one as Badger just gets reflected down by CK. The longest range reflect actually kills the sniper, and there's still Viking fighting from this lower left, and they're still denying this cap point.
Yeah, there's just nobody going across the point when they want to try and cap it. Like, they're just sitting on it and then hope they don't get denied, even though they are, because Viking just sits on the boxes every time. And Val's trying to land as well, but Val actually getting picked off right there with KC with some nice pipes. TK getting blown up into the air as Viking shoots him out of the sky. And yeah, Cohen and Haku actually going to be on even Ubers on 100%. Well, I say that Cohen's actually not built just yet. He's going to be left alone, and Magister getting kind of caught out here as the Uber actually gets popped out. I'm not sure whether that was a force. Haku with 150 health, so not really sure what they're trying to achieve here. As the counter Uber comes in, Blank with a big bomb, Haku going down very low. CK not trying to just, like, chase anyone except for the heavy, really. And they're kind of left alone here, so not really able to do much.
Yeah, fight towards this here. Come on, Pyro, easy 9k. That is all you can hope for right now, because once they recap, you have to be quick with the respawns, and they're just fighting towards this point here. The demo is still fighting. He's alone, though. He's really weak. Broken goes down. They need more players to be forward. Medic goes down. Fluff might just salvage that, as they need to walk forward here right now. Decisive with your heals. Go forward, while inversely, the other team has to stick them off. TK dies. Everyone dies. There's just complete conch on this point right now, as it should favor the blue team, as nobody steps on the point.
Yeah, and I think that will be a GG if it is first 3, and it is, so yeah, GG's being called. So after a massive grand finals, Gimme opponent will be managing to take that. I mean,
that was mega quick, easy.
Looking at that as a brief summary, I mean, what do you think went wrong there for Phoenix Sun?
I think, first of all, I think what went wrong is that first time in my casting career, I actually noticed the GG lag 1.5 minutes before, and actually then I accidentally pointed it out as well. Before, I thought this would be a new invention, but since I've seen like other casts as well, like the older ones, it always has been a thing. So interesting that the first time I noticed that. So a bit anticlimactic, but I hope people don't know. So what I noticed during the entire day, entire day, I wanted to say, yeah, that's a Freudian slip, you know, it feels like it anyway.
Nice.
They switched up their sides, which favored them, but even though Badger was on the other side of the map, what we pointed out halfway across, but in the end, they didn't make enough work anymore with their Uber percentage. I don't know why Cohen was playing like this. I feel like that I don't like singling out single players, but I feel like the combo was lacking a bit too much there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm just going to look at these logs very briefly. I mean, looking at that, I think one of the main problems, really, for Phoenix Sun was Badger. I mean, 38 and 15 with 24 headshots, and, like, I think for at least 1.5 to 2 rounds, he just was not getting denied. I mean, you know, 38, 15, 10,000 damage. I mean, big damage coming out from both demos, actually, so TK and KC doing quite a lot for either teams, but, I mean, looking at the damage charts, it's just all really in favour of Gimme opponent. And Magister, like, you know, the next one up for Phoenix Sun, so a bit of a shame for them and the combo players, but I think the flank, yeah, Droy and Zodiac doing a lot of work really on the flank with Val jumping the roof, doing some good detonator jumps as you'd expect from him at this point. But yeah, I mean, I think both mids kind of having a bit of a difficult game. but with the users weren't that great from either side. But I think just overall, I think sometimes the flashes coming out onto the players of Gimme opponent and like their positioning post Uber were a lot better. So that's probably ended up winning them that.
Yeah, that also translates into this not so little, I mean, not huge, but still as a slight kill and damage difference actually favoring the team that won in the end, because there is, in general, if you lose out like on the flank fight or something, then pro tip, you can use your heals and kind of your combo sometimes a bit more loose and easy to rotate to that, so you actually win the flank fight. But on Asheville, where it's really, really open and loose, you cannot counter it like that. So meaning, if your flank just is constantly behind you need to get other strategies to control the flank, even if you lose the DM fight. And then they just had the better, like, bit more influential sniper, I should say, on this kind of map. So that basically translates into, we get a few more kills, bit more damage, bit better Ubers, bit better point pressure, and we win a 3-hour grand final or something.
Pretty much, and so at the end of all that, we're probably going to be winning that. And so yeah, that was the grand finals HLMixes Showdown match sponsored by Manco Store. We'll be won by Gimme opponent. Commiserations to Phoenix at the end of that. But I think we're going to be wrapping it up after that very lengthy cast. So thank you for staying with us. And if you want to support us further, you can always drop a subscribe. It's always very appreciated. And KritzKast will be bringing you more casts in the future for more Highlander action. So we hope you've enjoyed the game today, and we will see you next time.